Welcome to Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture Happy Hour.
Let's go. This is how we start. What?
I'm going to start with some burps.
Thursday, February 25th, mother truckers.
Yeah, it's Thursday, all right. It's definitely Thursday. It's definitely not Tuesday. It's definitely not Tuesday.
It's definitely not Tuesday. It's Tuesday. As I'm looking at the screen that says Tuesday, February 25th.
Definitely not Tuesday. Pigtown says too slow, Brooks. What the fuck? Yeah, I agree with you. We've been whooping Brooks in beer chugs for years.
I've won that one. That was the first one I've won in years, actually, I think.
Dude, these short, stubby bottles are not aerodynamic enough to chug out of. I'll tell you that for sure.
But I love those. I love the stubby bottles, man. That's what I love. Natural Light had stubby bottles, and they got away with them. They did away with them.
I love that.
Well, no, they used to have pony bottles at the Catonsville bar I used to go to all the time, and I'm blanking on.
Morris Burgers?
No.
That was a real shithole.
That sounds like a shithole.
What?
Was Catonsville or Ellicott City?
Catonsville. Oh. They used to sponsor our men's league team.
We need Nick Voden here. He's our resident Rolling Road
and
guy.
They always had I know, they always had the and until like, I don't know, probably like 8 years ago. Ooh. Shit, I can't believe it's been that long now since I played men's league baseball. But they had the stubby Natty Light bottles in there, and that's what we always used to go after the game to drink. Yeah, 99-cent bottles.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk a little Terps today. When the Terps first brought alcohol into, there used to not be alcohol sales at college games at all. When I was a freshman, this changed, which was the best timing ever for me. But they only had Miller Coors products in there for the first year, so they had Miller Lite, Miller High Life, Coors Light, and Coors Banquet, and just like a couple of whatever, throwaway beers. And I was always
Big Town. When did you play with Spring Grove? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Spring Grove. Damn.
Yeah.
I played with Todd Perry, men's league.
Steve Perry. All right, Brian. Story time with Brian to start off today's episode. Brian's going to tell us a story. We haven't heard it, and I'm a little scared of it, to be honest with you.
Story time with Uncle Brian. All right. Saturday night, I stay at Katie's house and have a great time. We watch some movies. Sunday day, stay at Katie's, stay there till 4. I'm actually in her house now. Till 4:30 p.m. I have to work at 5. So I go home. I have Carlos with me. Carlos is my dog. Go home. I open my door. I unleash Carlos, and I hang the leash. Now, to give you proximity of my house, to give you kind of a layout of the house, in order for you to immediately go into my open air living room and kitchen, no wall separator or anything, you have to go up 12 stairs. So basically, I'm announcing my presence when I walk in the door, and I can't see anything. So I do that. Qualifier, because it's pertinent to the story. We just got a new couch delivered that it's in 3 massive boxes that are about like the height of a high top bar table. Give you kind of So go upstairs. Here's someone going to my half bathroom, which is on that floor. I think it's the guy who just moved in the house. His name is Kyle Roach. He's a good guy. Carlos immediately runs over to his dog bowl. Man, dude, this is 4:30 p.m. So I walk over to feed Carlos, and behind one of the boxes is a stark naked woman, as naked as the day she is born, covering her chest with her arm and doing this motion.
Nice.
I just go, my apologies, and just darted away. Just got the fuck out of there. And I hear someone from my half bath go, "Nothing to see here, Rogers. Nothing to see here." I go, "Well, that's not Roach in my bathroom." It was my buddy. I'm not going to name names. It was my buddy who came over and decided to have sex in my living room while I was not home.
Nice.
I mean, if you're not going to use it, somebody should.
I didn't know who the woman was. British Raven, the answer is yes.
Was she a librarian?
She was a librarian. She knew the Dewey Decimal System. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Nice.
And I just
good head on her shoulders.
My apologies, and just got the hell out of there as quickly as possible. Then I go over to Pig and Rooster because it's right next to my house. And I'm like, I'm disheveled. like completely disheveled. I go over and I see my roommate, Roach, at Pig and Rooster, and he goes, "Oh, Raj, just heads up. Don't go over the house. Is over the house having sex with somebody in my bedroom." I go, "Don't go over the house. I've already been there, and I wouldn't say it was your bedroom."
Hey, at least the couch is in boxes still, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I haven't been home in like 19, 20 hours, and I come home for that, like, let's just call it a 3-minute period, and I
man,
catch you in the throes of passion, buddy.
Well, at least he was in the bathroom and not,
Well, here's the kicker.
you would have walked in and heard some noises if you would have, yeah.
Here's the kicker for me is this son of a bitch, my friend, and look, I'm not mad about it whatsoever. I mean, it's totally fine. It's a funny story, but this son of a bitch ran into the bathroom and left this woman out in the field taking grenades in the trenches. Like, you can't leave the woman. You got to let the woman go in. I mean, we've been in enough locker rooms. Yeah. I hate to say this, sounds gay, but we showered enough dudes. Like, I don't give a damn about seeing a dude's dick. Like,
I've seen about every shape and size dick that you can imagine at this point. You're not going to surprise me at this point.
The first thing I did is I called Katie. I'm like, look, I need you to know this now, because if this story gets out and you don't know it from me, it's going to get made up. And the game of Canton telephone will be ridiculous. And before you know it, I'm having a baby with this woman. So I called Katie. Obviously, she wasn't happy, but she understood.
That sounds great, dude. That was fun. I like that story.
If I wasn't awake already, man, I was awake at that point. I'm like, whoa.
I love how immediately you just said it was fine. It's not a big deal. Like 90% of the people in the world would be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?" I wouldn't care really either, but I guess I think most.
This is why they cancel memberships. So if you guys are seeing why the memberships are not working right now, it's because tech guy over here screwed up something with the AdSense, and I'm waiting on the PIN code. Basically, they got to send me a PIN to verify our address to get the AdSense back up connected to our account. These two jagaloons to my left and right don't know what that means, but that's what's going on.
Don't know. Honestly, don't care either.
I can't spell ad, and I have no sense. So
anyway, that's true. Oh man, in the world of
Pigtown, I see that, but I'm not gonna pull that one up yet.
Yeah,
I don't know if I can pull that one up.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today on the docket, boys. Where do you guys want to start? Does anything jump out to you, Brian? I know you had a lot of topics that you wanted to discuss coming into this podcast. Is there anything that really jumped off the page to you that you want to get into first?
Let's see what I gave to you guys today. Brooksy. I want to talk about the Combine, which is starting up this week.
I got one thing before we start, now that I'm thinking about it. Sorry.
Okay.
Shout out and happy birthday to British Raven Nick Mason's dad today.
Ooh, yeah. I saw that earlier on social media, I believe.
I think Nick said his dad would have been 63 or something of that nature.
Yeah, I think that's what I saw as well. Cheers to you, British Raven. Also, cheers to, is it Amanda Sarver's birthday? Is that what you said?
It's Amanda Sarver's birthday.
Yeah. Here's Amanda Sarver. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mr. Amanda Sarver. You're amazing. We love the hell out of you.
You'll never see this.
You will never see this.
But also to British Raven, to Nick, I mean, your dad's been very obviously influential in your life. And the stories you told about your father have been amazing to us. So when Brooks and I were on New Year's Eve, you crushed it and kind of broke me down a little bit to the point that I actually had to get off camera for a little while. So, yeah, man, awesome.
Yeah, but I just want to throw that in there, get the serious stuff out of the way, mixed in with what we're doing right now. So, what were you going on your tangent about over there, Mr. Get Off My Lawn?
I'm not getting off my lawn. I'm just wondering, is the Combine has started this week? You're obviously out in Indianapolis. Is the Combine becoming worthless? That's a question for the group, question for everyone watching and listening. Is the Combine becoming worthless?
Can you explain your reasoning for the question first?
The reasoning for the question is only 3 NFL head coaches are attending this year. It is the Packers coach, the Rams coach, and Kyle Shanahan from the Niners.
They're all boys, by the way. They all coached on the same Washington Redskins staff. Sorry, now Commanders, formerly.
No, but it
are
sounds
we sure about that?
100%. I'm 100% sure about that.
Yeah, Rich Eisen talked about how only 3 people, and then I think Daniel Jeremiah said only 3 NFL head coaches are going and ripped them all off.
Yeah.
So they're all boys. Sounds like a boys trip, basically.
Yeah.
It is.
It's the
It
combine
is.
worthless. It's made for basically medicals, and it's made for interviews. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no reason to run the 40-yard dash anymore because they have pro days.
If I'm going to be real honest with you, the biggest thing about the combine is a lot of trades and everything get done right now. So you can go out to any fancy restaurant here in the city for the next week, and you're going to see probably Jerry Jones. You're going to see Eric DeCosta's here. Any GMs are going to be out at dinner, and they're going to be in back rooms talking.
Yeah.
This is like technically they're not supposed. This is like tampering period. They're not supposed to be doing any of this, but they sit there and they go out to dinner, and this is where it all gets done before like everything opens up, and then that's how all these trades come out at the opening. It's like, all right, how do they get all these done? It's at the combine because they're all here.
This is when they're writing the script. If you guys, all of you guys who are the NFL is scripted people, this is when they write the script this week.
I'm talking about the combine itself, like the actual drills. Like,
I'm just saying
it's
that's
absolutely worthless.
Well, all these kids have their own pro days and shit now, and if they know that they're going to have a bad time, they just don't go to the combine. Whereas I think back in the day, they were more, there was more like people trying to coerce them to go and just do it and just see how they test against other people. I would think it definitely holds a little bit less stack than it used to, but I still think it matters because why would all the GMs in the NFL be there? Why would those three coaches, even those three coaches, just be there? I think the Senior Bowl has actually kind of leapt forward a little bit in terms of this too.
100%.
Yeah, and I think the GMs, like as a part of their job and like due diligence, if they're not here, they're kind of doing their team a disservice.
Yeah.
So they have to be here really. But until like coaches and everybody else starts to stop putting so much stock into like pro days and everything like that, then people are just going to keep doing that because why wouldn't they? Because they get to handpick all their stuff basically in terms of like, if a quarterback, they get to handpick a lot of the receivers that go out there. They get to, which is great for the receivers who are not getting looked at, or if they're not eligible yet, they put a breadcrumb in somebody's mind for next year. It's really good in that sense. But if coaches and GMs stop showing up to that and stop putting emphasis on that, then they're going to have to come back to the combine. But until that happens, I don't see it changing, and I think it's going to continue to dwindle a little bit. But Indianapolis, in terms of the city, it's still a huge revenue. This is a conference town. Like if you're ever working for a company that's like nationwide, usually a lot of those conferences are going to be happening either in like Dallas, Houston, Indianapolis, like somewhere in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
And Indianapolis is a huge hug for that.
Yeah. That was my follow-up question. I'm glad you brought it up there, Brooksy. Is this a revenue generator for the city? Now, obviously,
huge.
Yes, but is it dwindling? And obviously, you're not sitting there. You're not the mayor. But a lot
of players still show up to this, like ex-players and stuff. Like they still come here. It's like you said, it's kind of a boys' trip. Like people like to come here and get away. It's a reason to get away. There's nice places to go here. They know a lot of the big wigs are here. There's a couple guys that I've reached out to that have come into town from the Baltimore scene that I'm trying to hook up and get a beer with, just to see if I can get them on the podcast at some point. Like Bobby Tussauds is here. I'm trying to get a beer with him. He just got in yesterday. If his schedule works out. So it's basically a big networking event. That's most of it. But it's still kind of funny. Like I can go down like tomorrow. I'm going to go downtown and probably work from somewhere and see if I can rub elbows just with somebody. I'm going to go work from a coffee shop or somewhere, go get lunch at one of the high-end places. Like there are people here and people from other cities that come into town and just go sit at like the high-end restaurants at the bar and work from there all day. And hopefully somebody will walk in and they'll try to talk with somebody. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So instead of running into Joey Chestnut, you're going to run into like Joe Shane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather run into Joey Chestnut.
You know who's here? Who I don't know if you guys know who he is. Dusty If you guys watch McAfee's show at all, Mark Caboli.
Oh, Caboli. The
I
man had
just-
a fucking meatball sub in his goddamn cargo
Yeah.
pants.
I just
I
saw
can't
that-
believe you like him, Brooks. You don't like meatball subs.
Dude, this guy is a fucking walking caricature. He is like the epitome of Pittsburgh. He's hysterical. I saw on Twitter either yesterday or the day before that he was landing in Indianapolis. I'm like, Mark, where are we getting a beer at? So I'm literally gonna hound him and be like, Mark, downtown, where you at?
Can you just walk around? Can you walk around with your least favorite sub, a meatball sub, and just try to hand it to him over and over?
So they literally talk about, there's like this steak and shake that's downtown that they all talk about, like how drunk they get during the nights here at the Combine, and that was their late night spot that they would go there in the Red Garter, which is a strip club. Like all the high up executives and
Oh, they go to the titter?
all the media people, yeah. Well, not all of them, but like that's their late night drunk spot. Is they used to always go to that steak and shake, and they were all pissed off because during COVID and ever since COVID, they don't stay open to 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. anymore.
Mhm.
So they're all mad about it now.
Rookies.
For 1 second there, I thought maybe Steak and Shake would be a good name for a strip club, and then I thought more about it, and I don't think it would be.
No.
Actually, that's not a bad call. Actually,
I said if I open a gay bar, I'm calling it the mailbox.
Oh my god! Can we let that one marinate for a second? Let's let that one just marinate.
Let that quaff over you, buddy.
Yeah.
quaff. Just let it quaff.
Oh man.
right,
While we're on the topic of football, I think have we answered your question
Yes.
in a fair enough manner, Brian?
Yes.
Or do you have any other comments on the combine before we continue on to other?
The
football
Combine, yes. For like the players, is it dying? Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
For the city, no, it's still bringing in a lot of revenue.
Obviously, Brooks, you're tapped in. So just to follow up and finish the Combine stuff, Brooks, are you hearing any chatter or any worries from Indianapolis, reading the news, whatever the fuck it may be, or whatever platform you're looking at, about the Combine possibly moving out of Indianapolis and going somewhere
So
else?
that was
Is
a
that
big
concern?
That was a big story last year, 2 years ago, because Dallas was trying to get it.
Mhm.
And they re-upped for another couple years. I don't know if it's a year-by-year thing or if they re-up for 3 years, but this was a story, I believe, last year or the year before, like a big story, because this would be a big hit for the city if it left.
Yeah.
Not that it's like not that it would be like the end of the world. Like they still get Big Ten championships, basketball and football downtown. They just
Indy,
had the
Indy 500.
the Indy. Oh well, and they just had the Royal Rumble. I think they're having WrestleMania this year, next year.
Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. All in Indy.
SummerSlam. So, like, they do like the U.S. Olympic swim trials at Lucas Oil Stadium. They do a lot of big stuff here. And obviously, like they had the NBA All-Star game a year or two ago, which, I mean, who gives a fuck about that, really?
Even the NBA players now. Who gives a shit?
I know. But I mean, it still brings in a lot of people. It's still good for the city in terms of revenue.
Mhm.
But yeah, if they lost it at this point, I mean, McAfee himself basically brought in all that WWE stuff, which is awesome. But yeah, if they lost it, it would suck. But to your point, I do think it's kind of dying. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Combine go away in the next 5 to 10 years.
I agree with you. And to hammer this one home, this is why I think the Combine is absolutely fucking worthless. They have the punters doing the bench press and measuring their hand size. What the fuck does that have to do with punting a
Well, you
football?
got to be able to hold on to the
You
ball,
gotta
and
catch the
drop
ball.
it onto your foot, bub.
You still have these utensils that we talked about with the meatball sub and pizza.
Yeah,
all
gotta
right?
catch the ball. Gotta
You
catch
still
it.
got to catch the ball. I don't care how much you bench. Like Kevin Durant couldn't bench 135 pounds. He got drafted number 2 overall. I think he's doing all right. All right. So,
What do you
the
have
hell
big
does a
utensils?
punter- Yeah. Why does an offensive lineman have to run a 40? If an offensive lineman's running 40 yards, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's a legal man downfield. 10 yards backwards, lost down. Like, you can't do that.
I mean, until you get Tyler Linderbaum out in front, leading the way for Derrick Henry, which happens sometimes.
That's terrifying to even think about. Like that is an alley I don't want to be in. But
I mean, so I'll go against you on this. I think the offensive line running the 40 is a little bit more important than everything else that you said, because I feel like the athletic offensive lineman was getting pretty popular there for a little bit.
yeah. Why not measure the punter's foot?
I don't know.
Why do you got to measure? Why do you got to measure how much he can bench?
How far the fucking ball goes.
Why don't you watch fucking film?
Sorry for the F-bombs. Anyway, it is after dark. Who gives a fuck?
Gary Williams after dark.
This is happy hour.
What's that?
Me and my buddy Nick, who actually watches the show all the time, Nick Boat. If you guys are watching, you probably have recognized that name commenting. We're talking earlier about like what the Ravens draft strategy might be. And he was obviously really excited because Kuiper's mock draft came out and had us taking a South Carolina guy. He went to South Carolina, so he's all excited. He's like, we should take this guy. He's a safety. But there's apparently a plethora. You guys ready for that word?
Whoa.
There's
a
plethora
starting early, man.
There's a plethora of talent on the offensive and defensive lines that are supposed to go further down the board.
We need both of those.
Draft, which I really like. We do have the 27th overall pick. He was thinking that we take this guy and save the offensive and defensive line questions for the 2 through 5 rounds where there seems to be a lot of depth. I came back and basically said, look, if we want to trade out of the first round, that's something that our team normally does quite a bit of. And especially if there's a lot of guys in between the second and fourth round, maybe try to turn that first round pick into a 2 and a 3, and you get one more crack at the plate. Do you guys think that would be a good move? Do you see or do you see those positions as being positions of need for the Ravens? I think defensive line probably a little less so than offensive line at this point. With the we don't really know what's going to happen with Ronnie Stanley at this point. What do you guys think the draft strategy should be overall, and do you agree or disagree with what I said?
Brooksy, go ahead. If not, I have my take, and you can sulk on that.
Do you like the trade back? Do you like sticking and picking? What do you think? Depends on who's there.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't know enough about all the guys right now to sit here and tell you educatedly. But I mean, as a draft strategy, I'm going obviously offensive lineman first, and we're so good at drafting defensive linemen anytime in the draft, and especially if it's a deep one, like everyone's saying. Obviously, Myles Garrett's still sitting out there. We're not going to get him. Joey Bosa's sitting there, possibly going to get cut.
Khalil Mack too.
Yeah. So it's offensive line, but it's one of those things, like, I don't know if you can sit there and trade and get the same guy that you want or the same value of guy that you want. So because I just don't know all the guys. So
it depends on what the Ravens value. I guess it goes back to that. It just like
hopefully offensive line.
I say that it's a deep class offensive and defensive line wise. That's what most people think. It could be not. The Ravens don't think that way. Maybe the Ravens think that the defensive line is great and the offensive linemen down the board aren't quite as good.
And to be fair,
so they have to prioritize
them.
Exactly.
So.
And I do trust the front office, which is a good thing. Brian, do you have any rebuttals to this or anything? Any thoughts?
No rebuttals. Just a statement, comment.
Just buttals.
The offensive line is going to be the need over the defensive line. Because you already signed Madubuike. You have Michael Pierce, I believe, on another year.
No, Michael Pierce is gone.
He's gone? Okay.
He's possibly retiring.
I think he might be retiring, yeah.
Okay.
But he's not necessarily gone. He's a free agent. Sorry, should I say that?
Fair enough. But you're losing – Macari and Stanley are free agents.
Correct.
And Cleveland.
And Ben Cleveland. So you're going to lose some girth there, for lack of a better term.
Talk about a guy who likes a couple beers. Sorry, had to.
Good Lord, man.
Let's stick that one in.
So I think offensive line is going to be the main focus. Safety is interesting to me with that. And Mo Kiper's tapped in with the Ravens specifically. That's where that statement came from, because he lives in Baltimore.
I think he's tapped into the league pretty well. I think he's a pretty respected dude. As much of a caricature as he is on air, I think he's a pretty smart dude. He's been around forever.
Del Davis ran into him 3 times at a grocery store, 4 times at a grocery store. He said the 3 times that he's talked to him, he is exactly what you see on television.
He is. So he's a Calvert Hall guy. So we used to see him like at every football game. He actually came to a ton of baseball games.
He
He's a
was in the
huge baseball
stands
game.
all the time at
He
baseball
came-
games, football games. He didn't give a shit. He
He
just wanted
came
to
to
come watch the game.
he came to more of Dustin's baseball games. Like I don't know, for whatever reason, like he came to a couple like football games when I was there. But when Dustin was there, he was at everything. He was, I don't know.
Well, when I was there, we had Adrian Amos. We had
Yeah,
DeQuan
you
Davis,
had-
who went to Penn State. We had Trevor Williams, who played for the Chargers. Like, we had a
Yeah.
lot of fucking
Well,
NFL
yeah,
talent.
fair. But
Penn
he was at,
State.
but
Penn
he was-
State sucks.
but he was at a ton of baseball games randomly.
I got kicked out of this house, guys. I'm
Is
sorry,
she a
I gotta
Penn
go.
State guy? Oh
Yeah,
my
Penn
God.
State.
Get
She
out
went
of
to
there,
Penn
dude.
State.
Run
I gotta give a
away.
shout out. I
Run
don't know if
away.
I-
She's in the cult, dude. Don't stay.
I gotta
She's
give
in
a
the
quick.
cult, dude. She's
Sorry.
got to pull the plug on the laptop. Sorry, bro.
I gotta give a quick shout out before they get off of here because you guys can't see it, but they might even be gone by now. But Gridiron Golf is over on our YouTube watching, and they just chimed in and said, "Ha ha ha! This is hilarious. I'm glad I tuned in for this." Gridiron Golf, you're allowed to sponsor more than one podcast in the region.
No, we're not stealing from Ryan Ripken. We're not stealing from Rip. Yeah, Rip's been too good to us, man. They've been those guys.
It's not stealing.
I know.
Sharing.
It's sharing. Sharing is caring.
Caring. I knew it was coming.
Sharing is good.
And and their game seems like a lot of fun. So
And they don't like Penn State, which I also enjoy.
I don't know if they do or not.
I'm about to get stabbed with a knife on live television.
There's a lot of things that you could get stabbed by that'd be worse than a knife.
Like a spoon. Spoon would hurt.
There's a Reese Witherspoon. There's a Reese Witherspoon joke in there somewhere. Anyway, Kyle Shanahan giving up the offensive coordinator reins to Gary Kubiak's son Clay. Seems like that Shanahan's not going to be calling the plays for the Niners anymore. That's interesting to me. Let's talk about instead of that, let's talk about this Green Bay. Green Bay bringing up banning the tush push. And Sirianni came out and said that would be unfair. What do you guys think of this? Do you think it should be banned? Do you think it will be banned? Just expand on this however you want to.
I'm going to steal this one, and I'm listening to J.J. Watt, defensive lineman, obviously, 3-time defensive player of the year. He was talking about how if people are pissed, people being other teams, are pissed because the Eagles have perfected this. You have Jalen Hurts who can actually, he's a bigger quarterback.
He could squat all
Massive
three
legs.
of us at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the other teams haven't perfected it. They have. He said that what you have to do to defend it is specifically you need to go really low and also have two guys go really high. But the only problem is you don't know the snap count and the offense does. There's no way that this would be banned because one team's really good at it. If everyone was really good at it, then it should be banned. He also said they're extremely good at getting the first 9 yards. Your job is to stop them getting the first 9 yards, not to allow them to have 1 yard left on third or fourth down. And that's a great way to look at it. And I never really thought about it that way. So I agree with J.J. Watt. Look, do I hate the play? Yes, it's a rugby scrum. I get it. And I understand both sides of the table or both sides of the aisle here. But you can't ban it because one team's really good at something. Are you going to ban Patrick Mahomes throwing with his right arm?
The only opposition I can make to play like devil's advocate here is like you can basically have three guys behind the quarterback to push him, which seems a little ridiculous, especially if you're going to ban like guys jumping over the line of scrimmage and using people as I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of like you're gaining an advantage from somebody else.
It's not leveraging, but it's
yeah.
ish.
Yeah. We're in that gray area there.
Why don't you just ban having three guys? Why can't you just have one guy? Like, how about you ban only one guy can push?
Well,
or just don't have anyone. Don't allow people to
push at all.
Can you guys correct me if I'm wrong here? I feel like when I was growing up watching football, the offensive linemen weren't allowed to like drag the running back forward. I feel like that was not a thing. Wasn't that a ban for a long time? And
it's
then they
still
started
illegal.
So I don't get. So
it's
is
similar.
it already illegal? This is
illegal.
what I don't understand about the rule and like how the NFL specifically, how they use the rules. I just don't really get it. I feel like it's really inconsistent because this doesn't make sense to me.
You can't pick and choose what you like just because you're not happy with the results of a game or a season. You can't pick and choose. And eye of the beholder, I get that bullshit, but come on, man. I mean, look, the Eagles are really good at it. Look, if the Bills were as good at it as the Eagles, the Bills are in the Super Bowl.
Fair.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I'm just sitting here playing devil's advocate. Do I think it should be banned? No. But
push but not drag. I feel like that's fair, but also I see offensive linemen dragging their running backs.
Yeah, they grab
them and they don't
literally they bear hug them. I mean, you look at Scadaboo this year.
Thank you, Brooksy. You took it because I was with you. We were sitting there watching it. The guy picked him up and threw him in the end zone.
Well, this is not NFL. This is NCAA, but I love it. Yeah.
Regardless, I love that. I don't want that to go away. That's like literally being the ultimate teammate, right? I mean,
what was it? Team sport. Did he just was it like he was throwing him over the top rope?
No, he just kind of ran into He kind of ran into his own offensive lineman, offensive lineman, and
offensive lineman.
I mean, he was basically nuts to butt with his offensive lineman. The offensive lineman had a bear hug and just went, "Okay, I'm gonna fall backwards."
Yeah.
So it was awesome. It was like literally, like that's the guy I want. Both those guys on my team. They were just like, all right, we're gonna do whatever the fuck you got to do to get them in the end zone or past the line of scrimmage.
I honestly feel like we're all kind of on the same page here. There's not really a reason in the NFL that, from the NFL standpoint, that you can ban this play. Would I be surprised if they banned it? No. Do I think that they should? Probably not. And this is coming from a guy who despises the Eagles and doesn't like them at all. I don't think it's fair to the Eagles because it's not their fault. They're just really good at this one thing. Like, you're just gonna say, "Hey, no more green monster in Fenway." It's too much of an advantage for you guys. You know
Brooks,
what I mean?
You go first.
Sport, but
Yeah, I understand. Brooks, you go first, and I got something to back that up. Okay.
So I don't know if this is a rule or not. Can, like, on the defensive side, can you basically? So if we had, I mean, using just frame of reference because we're Ravens fans, if we had the Haloti Nana lining up a nose tackle and we get Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs, and another guy behind him and say, like, all right, we know they're going to tush push. Can we line 3 guys up behind him and we're going to push right back behind him as well? Is that against the rules?
Fucking awesome. Can you imagine Kelly Gregg and Tony Saragusa back there just trying to fucking push the defensive line?
Whoever you want to call it, but it's like, I just don't know if that's – so if the defense isn't allowed to do that, then I think that's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
It should be an equal advantage there.
Yeah. But if both teams start doing it, that's when you start getting dangerous because you're putting a lot of pressure and a lot of
those linemen are going to
all into one little meld, and that's how people's, that's how your head pops.
And here's my not, it's not a rebuttal, it's another comment on the tush push. When people are like, "Oh, it's it's all about safety," you can go fuck yourself with the safety comment. Okay, not the people talking about the NFL. All right, because why the hell is cut blocking still allowed? Why is chop blocking allowed? Because J.J. Watt talked about this as well. He goes, do you really think? Because Jason Kelsey used to talk about how he'd have like 1,000 pounds of man on top of him.
I was going to say the guy who's most important to it hates it. He understands why it's a good thing, but
J.J. Watt said he used to be allowed to. Guys would allow him to free rush. 2 guys would be on him. They would actually separate, allow him to free rush because they had a pulling guy coming to specifically he is coached to take out his knee.
Yep.
And that's look, the person's doing their job.
I remember him talking about this.
It's legal. Like, that is bullshit. So I don't want to hear this safety concern bullshit because the NFL blatantly does not care.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let what was it? They don't let like a corner can't come in and tackle. What was it? Shit, I forget what it was. If a corner's getting blocked by an offensive lineman, like there's basically no way they can get around them because they can't go low or anything like that to try to. I forget what it was, or it was the opposite.
You can't be engaged by 2 guys at one time.
Well, yeah, that's the whole chop block, but I forget what I was thinking of. I need to remember. Speaking
of JJ Watt, can I just get this?
Yeah,
get this out of the way.
Good segue.
This soccer bet he has with the goalie, because all right, so just for full context for everybody listening and watching, JJ Watt is minority owner of Burnley English. They're not in the Premier League; they're in the Champions League right now, or Champions, whatever the lower level is.
They got relegated. They used to be relegated. Premier League, yeah.
So anyway,
which is something they need in American sports, by the way. It's the best thing British sports have gotten,
without a doubt.
Down.
Like
Thank you,
Rutgers should be
British
relegated
for that. Thank you, British Raven, for relegation.
So anyway, JJ Watt, apparently his goalie, who he says is the best goalie in England, is going to be the number one goalie for the English national team at some point or another. I don't know his name, so I apologize for that. Maybe British Raven can help me out with that. Said that he is a massive Cincinnati Bengals fan. Like this goalie is a massive. He said if he goes scoreless for the next 28 games, JJ Watt has to go back and play for his hometown Bengals team, or his favorite team, the Bengals. James Trafford.
Trafford? Oh, wait. JJ Watt's going to play for the Bengals if the goalie doesn't score?
Well,
if the goalie doesn't let up a goal the rest of the year. And so they made this bet like a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting close.
They're 13 games in. He has not given up a goal.
I think it's
13 clean sheets. Are you kidding me?
I think it's more than that.
JJ Watt was on Dan Patrick's show today and said it was 13. So if they played a game today, I don't know. Like later,
he's starting to get nervous.
It doesn't matter. So
shit, I would too, dude.
He said JJ Watt said it was just like a joke bet, like completely making it up. And he said like the record is like 18 or 19 or 20 games of a clean sheet. He goes, and English Premier League's old as hell. He said one game they had 2 penalty shots against them, and he stopped both of them. He goes,
the odds of that are low, dude.
No shit. And he even goes, I didn't put retirement paperwork in. He goes, I don't know if I'm still a Houston Texan. He goes, I have no idea. He goes, but I'm going to go back and I'm going to play for the Bengals if I have to. He goes, I'm still in shape.
Thanks for the context here, Nick. We do need it because we're definitely not the biggest soccer guys in the world.
Nick,
here.
we'll put a link in the chat for some call-ins a little later. Maybe you can if you're still watching by then.
He's awesome. From a place called Cockermouth.
Get out of here!
That is awesome.
But
Cockermouth. Remember
is the name
this.
of his town. Cockermouth.
Remember this, British Raven, and once we put the call-in button on here, we want to hear more about this whole thing. But so, and also to add on that, because I remember when he brought this up on McAfee's show a while back, and I guess
I can't get over Cockermouth. I'm sorry.
There was a couple. It's hard to get past. So I guess they were a couple games in, and like you said, Brian, he's walking on the field or he's on the field or something like that, and I guess the goalie says something like a smart ass remark, and then JJ says like a smart ass remark back and goes, yeah, if you don't win, he goes, yeah, whatever. If you don't let up another goal the rest of the season, I'll do whatever. Like, let's make a bet. If you don't let up one the rest of the season, which is great for his team, he owns the team. He's like, I'll do, like, name it, but we'll make a bet here. Like, because obviously that's improbable, like almost impossible that's going to happen. And he's like, all right, you got to go back and play for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's like, fucking deal.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, man.
It's unbelievable.
Look at this guy. He's going to DiMaggio his way to the record, and JJ Watt's going to it's going to be
DiMaggio.
Awesome.
DiMaggio. So what? And JJ Watt brought up a good point. He's like, am I still a Houston Texan? I never filed paper. Like, I don't know.
No, he was. Well, did he go back to sign a one-day contract or something?
I don't know.
He was with Arizona when he retired.
That's right. Good point.
Yeah. Why do careers go to die in Arizona so often? Didn't Emmitt Smith go play there?
Yep. Yes,
Edgerrin James.
It used to be Detroit.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
All these people. Terrell Suggs. All these
All right,
people.
Suggs went to he went to the Chiefs after that.
Well, he went to Arizona and the Chiefs, right?
Well, he went to Arizona and then he got traded like sometime during that year and won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. So played like 7 games maybe.
Yeah.
Okay,
Brian, we got.
Can we do our That's a Shame segment? And then after that, can we also do our draft in about 5 minutes? I want to get Katie on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Let's do our That's a Shame segment. And for that's our That's a Shame segment, we have to do a little intro here. know what's a shame is that I put on the wrong segment.
That's a shame.
Twice.
That was streamlined so fucking terribly. It's unreal.
Oh, hey, dude. We're not always the best at segues. This is what we're experts in segues here, guys. This is the thing we should have the best.
Should we get segues when we're actually down in Florida? If they still have them.
Honestly, if there's a Segway capability there, instead of renting a car, we should rent a Segway.
Without a doubt. And we all
Not
ride
a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Oh man, videos of us running around Sarasota on Segway.
Speaking of,
hilarious.
Sign up to be a Huckleberry. You can watch that live. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be
the content
wild.
that's gonna come out of Florida is gonna be absolutely asinine. It's
all right. We're gonna save that snake draft video for a little bit later in the program, probably just after this segment. I'm sorry that I played it too early, but what is your that's a shame today, Mr. Brian Rogers?
My that's a shame this week is ESPN's coverage of all sports. It is consistently the Lakers, Aaron Rodgers.
You mean the sports network?
Well, yes. It is. It is literally ESPN does the Lakers, the Cowboys, and Aaron Rodgers over and over and over again. And I want to highlight something. And look, we're not big NBA guys. I know we've talked NBA a little bit here and there. This is a slow time of year. I totally understand it. The Joker had 19 assists from a center, the second most of all time. ESPN led off with what Jerry Jones and Dak Prescott's relationship is. Alex Ovechkin scored a hat trick and is 13 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal record. They led off with the Dallas Cowboys.
Are you still watching for a reason?
It's just on TV all the time. No,
to be fair, you work in a bar. That makes sense.
I work in a bar, so it's still programming. So it's naturally what turns on. It is worthless trash television.
It's bad. It's really bad. I opened the bar this morning, and like you do, you put on ESPN, ESPN2, whatever, just sports stuff to put on the TVs just so people can watch it throughout the day because there's nothing going on a Tuesday in February. So you're just trying to figure out what's going on, and it's on one TV, it's Rex Ryan talking about the Cowboys, and on the other TV, it's somebody talking about the tush push. And meanwhile, basketball's happening. Spring training just started. Golf just started. And people are just talking about football.
And Alex Ovechkin's about to break one of the most historic records in all of sports. Yeah. And all you can talk about is if Dak Prescott's dick is still attached to his body. God. Get the fuck off this stuff. Come on, guys. We're better than this. You're better than this. You're a sports network that is fucking fantastic. You have great personalities.
Are they, though?
That system. They came from. Bob Lee, the general, Bob Lee, you still have SVP, which I love. Because when COVID happened, SVP did like that senior segment for all the people that didn't get a chance to celebrate, their senior years, their senior moments. Like there are good people still at ESPN. Dan Orlovsky is actually really good at his job. Yeah. He really is. But there are certain people who are just dog shit and they're caricatures of themselves.
Yeah, the problem with Dan Orlovsky is his usage rate is just too high. Like that guy doesn't need to be on the floor for 48 minutes a game. He just, put him out there for 30, 35 minutes and let him go. And he's good. He can do
and that's what ESPN does. They put you through what they call the car wash. They put you on every single fucking network or every single program throughout the duration. I don't need to hear Kendrick Perkins bitch and moan and whine about how Jason Tatum
is a fucking idiot.
How Jason Tatum didn't get to play in the Olympics. Hey, hi, hello. The NBA season's still going on right now. We don't care about the 2024 Olympics right now.
And guess what? We won the fucking gold medal. So I'm sorry you didn't get so much PT. We won.
Well, I'm sorry. Derek White was a better lockdown defender. Okay, cool. Why don't we talk about that?
Perk also said that when they were in OKC with Harden, Westbrook, and Durant and Ibaka, he said they weren't the leaders. I was the leader. And then KD responded to the ESPN posted the clip. And KD responded to it. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen on the internet. I thought that was hilarious. KD's an idiot, but a lot of times, but he's real as shit, and I think he's hilarious sometimes with that stuff. Back to the original point, though. ESPN, what a problem. You didn't even mention, by the way, that the MLB decided to drop their $550 million a year deal to be programmed on ESPN because they're so pissed off that ESPN just doesn't show any fucking baseball highlights, which I've been saying for years, and you guys have been doing as well. Any baseball fan knows this because I I watch MLB Network specifically because I get to see what happened in the games last night because ESPN doesn't show it anymore.
They don't have any baseball guys. They don't have any baseball guys anymore.
It was a highlight of all the games that happened in an hour. And it was all the games that happened of all the sports. And now it's just like, hey, does Patrick Mahomes need to win the next 3 Super Bowls to be better than Tom Brady? Who gives a fuck, dude? What happened? Did the Angels beat the Twins last night? I still don't know.
It's a clickbait society now, man. And I know Zach from Pigtown. I know Pigtown's going to agree with me on this one. It's a fucking microwave culture. It's instant gratification. No one gives a shit about listening anymore. It's a fucking the mindset of gnats. Like, absolutely just enjoy what's going on around you. Appreciate greatness. Like Alex Ovechkin burns it on both ends of the candle, man. And he is awesome at what he does. Appreciate that. I don't give a shit about what Dak Prescott's shoe size is. I just don't. I really don't. And by the way, let me check my watch that I'm not wearing. It's not football season.
It's not football season, but the first segment we did on the podcast today, Brian asked a football question. Just wanted to point that out.
About the combine.
Just wanted to point that out. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Football moves the needle, but it's fucking frustrating, man. That's so you know more about ESPN than I do because I just refuse to watch it. I cannot watch it. If I have
trash,
like I will not. I just cannot. If there's any way for me to watch any other programming that has sports on it, and I can't get like McAfee or Van Pelt or anybody, like I'd rather go watch like yesterday's episode of the Scott Van Pelt podcast or Dan Patrick or somebody. Like I cannot like I will not turn it on.
I'd rather watch you play Wii bowling than ESPN right now.
And
it's everyone shouting into the microphone, and I know I'm shouting right now.
Oh,
But it's like Mad Dog Russo, like pontificating. Yes, I used it.
I hate you.
But I know you do. It's Mad Dog Russo just screaming about something like how Shaq's, big toe should be in the Hall of Fame. I have no idea why I'm like on feet right now. I don't have a foot fetish, but it's always yelling. And my father used to always say this: yelling doesn't make you right; it just makes you louder. Like, that is it. That's all it does.
I was talking about Tony Pops today at the bar.
Oh, really?
So for you, those of you that don't know, my wife works in healthcare. So when she has a day off during the week and not on the weekend, we usually have a day where we actually get to hang out. So today was that day. And I was like, we were just talking about Brian and Tony Pops and talking about the old Lighthouse Tavern.
Yeah.
I love my dad. I love my dad so much.
I know we're doing this. That's a shame, but a little silver lining in it right now because you did bring it. Your rant was about ESPN, and I think it was totally founded. I think we had the conversation, but I do think Scott Van Pelt is like the knight in shining armor, and this is not just because I'm a Terps fan, but if you watch that show, because it's always at the end of the night. I'm a bartender. I get to see it all the time. So when I get home, if you watch Scott Van Pelt, he actually does show highlights of every other sport. Mm-hmm. He talks about hockey. He brings in hockey analysts to talk about hockey. He brings in baseball people to talk about baseball. He talks like Tim Kirkshin all the time because they have a goofy Baltimore bullshit joke that is still funny. Leo Mazzoni, he does a really, really good job in a land of people who are trying to get clicks and. I think it's a big problem with media in general, and we don't have to get into other media, obviously, but it's a big problem with media in general, just looking for clicks and not getting you the information and the scope of the story the way they should. But I do agree with you, Brian, that ESPN does definitely not nearly as good of a job as they did when I was growing up, for sure.
I mean, to give you context, to go with
when's the last time you watched Baseball Tonight? When's the last time you saw Baseball Tonight on
I didn't know
TV?
they still do. They still do it?
I didn't even know they still did it.
I used to watch Baseball Tonight every day. Every day.
Yeah.
I like John Chiambi because he would sweat through his fucking sport coats. Like, I love that. Like, I enjoy that. It reminded me of Gary Williams. Go figure. But like when Victor Wembanyama has a blood clot in his shoulder, and like that's a major story. That's the future of the league. And you lead with Aaron Rodgers going into a cave. Like, who gives a shit? Or him hanging out in Malibu, maybe thinking about a fire might be up the street. That's great. Let's talk about Victor Wembanyama for a little bit.
Yeah,
not making fun of any kind of forest fires.
7'4" dude who's going to win his second straight Defensive Player of the Year as a 20-year-old dude.
And the
Speaking of blood
headlines
clots,
ESPN puts out.
Anthony Kim, by the way, blood clots.
Yeah, what's that?
All right, I hope he's okay.
Yeah.
That guy's gone through a lot of shit, so I don't want to talk shit about him. But anyway,
blood clots are scary, man. They're scary.
Brooks, do you have a that's a shame, or do you want to just move past it? Do you have a thought?
I do have a thought. I do have thoughts every once in a while.
I have to go get 3 more beers.
Do it.
Because I'm out of the 3 that I drank.
We'll hold down the fort, buddy.
Did, but we just went into all that, and I feel like I lost it. Give me a second here. Oh,
it's all good, man.
My that's a shame is all the freaking Orioles fans go after the first preseason game that they lost, and now all the Orioles fans were up in arms. Oh God, I told you they didn't get better. Oh my God, dude.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the hell up, man.
And shout out to CB. CB's down in spring training with Sarah Shrewsbury, his wife. They're
CB
awesome
Bitzelberger. Calvert Hall guy, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. What were you guys talking about? What did I miss?
So my that's a shame was all the Orioles fans on Twitter after the first spring training game they lost, and I shouldn't say everybody, but a select few in the on the Orioles Twitterverse would like to go and be like, I told you they didn't get better. Told you they didn't get any better. They didn't replace Corbin Burns. They didn't get any better.
It sounds like somebody from Dundalk. Did you hear this from the Seahorse Inn?
No, but is that place still alive?
That place is a treasure to the United States of America. You can get a scratch off, a beer.
Yep.
You might be able to get an over the pants handy, and there's a parakeet cage in the men's bathroom. That is not a joke.
I believe I went there a couple times after
I've only gotten 3 of those things, by the way.
I'll let you guess which ones. I went there. I went there a couple times after the Baltimore County Police Department Academy. We went there.
Did you say academy twice?
Baltimore County Police Academy.
Academy. ATM machine.
We went there. We went there a couple times.
Oh man! All right, I got to keep this show on the rails. My that's a shame is Chris Ballard said that he wants to have an open competition in practice this year, and that the Colts want to create real competition in the quarterback room for Anthony Richardson. You drafted this dude 4th overall 2 years ago. You never gave him a real shot. The one real shot you gave him, he got hurt. You gave him another real shot. You put Joe Flacco in like week 3. And now you're already talking about how you're sick of him. Maybe he sucks, and maybe they're doing the right thing. But I can't believe this guy still has a job, honestly. And I just every time he gets in front of a microphone, it just feels like he puts his mouth in his foot, or his foot in his mouth. His mouth in his foot. That would be bad.
Mouth in his foot. Yeah.
Mouth in foot. Yeah. But anyway, it's not really even that big of a deal based on what we talked about. The ESPN thing is a much more looming thing, but it's just something that stood out to me. I just don't know. I don't know what the Colts are doing, and honestly, I haven't really known what the Colts were doing since Peyton Manning was there. So I just don't know.
Do the Colts know what the Colts are doing?
No, I don't. I don't know. Yeah. That's a little. That's a shame from me. Something that came up on my ESPN thing earlier that I didn't know about. Diana Taurasi, one of the best women's basketball players of all time, if not the best, probably the best career in terms of achievements in women's basketball history, is retiring. Do we have thoughts on this? I know Brian's I don't think Brian can hear us right now. Can you hear us? Okay.
Hey, how's my audio? I'm going to someone else to get Katie on here.
No, you're good.
All right,
yeah, I just wanted to bring this up quick. Do you have any thoughts on Diana Taurasi and what she meant to women's basketball, even when women's basketball was still, as far as the mainstream media was concerned, still not as, not a big deal?
Without a doubt. I mean, other than Lisa Leslie, who was the number 1 overall pick by the LA Sparks when the WNBA started, Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird are the 2 most influential women within that sport. Diana Taurasi is a bulldog. She is somebody you want with you. I would take her on the mound if she played baseball. She is a killer. She was great at UConn. People look up to her. She's done such a good job. It's very unfortunate that she came in when she did, because she was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark. It reminds me a lot of what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, who's obviously fucking amazing. Michael Jordan got publicized. Kareem did not, or Lou Alcindor did not get publicized. So Diana Taurasi, I mean, well done, kick ass. You should. I mean, you're a great. You are on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. Forget women's basketball. Kill it.
So can you
But she won 6 gold medals? Think about that for a moment. 6 gold. I think 6.
Wow.
She's old as shit.
She's 42.
Good Lord.
I mean, she's been playing. She's probably been playing.
It's not 6, it's 5. I mean, she crushes. Great nose. Strong schnoz.
Not
Nice.
have anything to do with what we're talking.
Good
So
sniffer.
can just because I a little bit younger than you, so the UConn thing, did that start with Diana Taurasi, or was she just a part of it, like when it
No.
was really getting going?
No. It started with Rebecca Lobo and Gina Oriema getting there.
Okay.
Rebecca Lobo was really the catalyst for the UConn, and I'm not going to act like a Storrs, Connecticut, savant, but I remember Rebecca Lobo at UConn, and then people, like, the ball started rolling downhill, and then you got Taurasi going there, and then it rolls into all the other people that came in through there.
So
the
she's
Sue
not-
Birds,
Yeah,
the Sue Birds, and now you have Paige Beckers, who's going to be probably the
she's
number 1 draft
awesome.
pick.
Yeah,
I mean, you have I'm blanking on her name, Brittany, whatever.
Griner.
Yeah, Breonna Stewart. Breonna
Yeah.
Stewart. Like, you just
Brittany
have
Griner went to
so
Baylor.
Maya Moore.
Yeah.
Maya Moore crushed.
yeah.
I mean, you have so many people. It started with Rebecca Lobo,
Yeah.
and that's where you
So
started
where-
seeing.
Where is Rebecca Lobo? Is she a couple years before Taurasi? Is that like
Yes.
is it like 5 years before kind of thing, or is
Yeah, that sounds about right. Without me having any kind of stats in front of me, probably about 4,
Yeah.
5, 6 years in front.
Okay.
Tall center or maybe a power forward. But she was the catalyst, and Gino Oriema just crushed it, and he did exactly what he did. And it's part. If you've ever been to Storrs, Connecticut, let me tell you, it's as desolate as the middle of Death Valley. There is nothing to do there. So to get people to come to UConn is extremely difficult. And Gino Oriema and Jim Calhoun, they did a great job. I mean, talk about a program that has done a very good job of going places where people don't want to go to.
I mean, they were the standard bearer of college basketball in men's and women's for a long, long time.
It was Tennessee for forever.
Yeah.
Kara Lawson and Shamika Holdsclaw, they were the standard bearers, and then UConn came in, and there was a lot of tension there between those two. There was a lot of tension between Gino Oriema and Pat Summitt, and they made amends, before Pat unfortunately passed away. But either way, back to Diana Taurasi, just a rock star of a human being, like, just kicks ass. Somebody, I always say, want in an alley. You want her in the alley, dude. You want her in the alley. I'll take her against Michael Pierce all day.
Jesus. Wow.
I have a special
Thank you,
guest
thank you.
I have special guests for the draft whenever you guys are ready.
I'm ready, dude. Thank you very much for speaking so eloquently on women's basketball. I think it's not covered enough, and I think we know this as a society now. It's gaining traction, but I think it's important to talk about. And Diana Taurasi
It's gaining so much traction.
She's the light.
She is
women's basketball.
She is a Mount Rushmore. I mean, she is Mount Rushmore. And the thing is, Caitlin Clark is carrying the torch now. Caitlin Clark didn't light the torch. Diana Taurasi lit the torch, and Lisa Leslie lit the torch as well by being the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And Cheryl Swoops, and there's so many other names. Tamika Catchings,
and Cheryl Miller, Reggie's sister. Yeah.
Tamika Catchings.
Yep.
Ooh.
Tamika Catchings, Cheryl Swoops,
Oh, that's
Teresa Witherspoon.
How do you get by one thing
Candace
in?
Parker. Candace Parker.
We can
Candace
name
Parker,
women's basketball players with the best of them, apparently.
Yes, we can. Anyway, it is
Low
time.
next.
It
Here
is
we
time.
go. All right, I'm going to bring in a special guest here real quick, guys.
All right.
Two
It
guests,
is time-
and you're going to see a little puppy here as well.
It is
Send us
time now
Dusty.
for our snake draft. Our snake draft is sponsored by Pig and Rooster. This week's snake draft is gonna be best country singers. It's not gonna be country artists. You can't do duos. We're gonna leave out Brooks and or Dunn.
Wait, I thought we were doing groups as well.
No,
Brian
singular.
said no. Brian said
Oh,
singular.
Brian.
he gave me a big 2 thumbs down.
Wish I had 4 hands.
But anyway,
both
our
thumbs
best
in.
country singers. You can take whoever you want. You can take Kix, Brooks, or Ronnie Dunn, but they're going to be individuals on your team, and you're going to have to take them 2 spots.
You're an individual.
But anyway, this is Miss Katie Bauer. Hey, Katie, I haven't met you before.
Hi, guys.
And this is
Romeo.
What's up, Romeo? I like your hat.
And
Foster
this
puppy.
is Romeo,
Dressed for the
Romeo,
occasion.
Romeo, Romeo, and this is our snake draft.
Yeah.
all right. So who won?
Checking now.
And I believe Katie gets to pick. I guess being the special guest, Katie gets to pick where she wants.
Yeah.
Where would you like to pick? First, second, third, or fourth?
I'll go first.
You go first. You got this.
You want number 1? That's
Is that not a good strategy?
No.
She's-
it
she's
depends-
confident.
no
it depends on how
There's a little bit of strategy.
It depends on
Not a lot of
how
strategy.
sure you are that your number 1 pick is the person. But if you want to go number 1, that is absolutely fine with us. I'm going to assume that I won last week.
Dusty won by 1 vote over me, and Brian in last
I'm
place
the best. I'm
once
the
again.
best. Okay,
Here's
well,
over,
whoever,
boys.
Who
whoever came in
voted for
second can
Brian?
pick. I'm going to go 4 because I want the wraparound pick. I feel like
Son
that
of a
really
bitch.
helps in these drafts. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4, and Brooks, Brian, who wants to go second or third?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
next to pick. I'm gonna go third because I just don't think Brian's gonna take the same people I am. So
Brooks
Got it.
or Brian's going to take Dwight Yoakam. That's for sure.
Oh no, Beyonce.
Okay, so we have a 4-man draft this time. Katie, you are one of our men. Sorry that I didn't call you a female, but
I
it's
got
fine.
Romeo.
We all know. We all know. Katie, who's your number 1 overall country singer?
I'm gonna have to go with Kenny Chesney, number 1.
All right, Kenny Chesney goes number 1. What's your favorite Kenny Chesney song?
strong.
All of them.
No,
of
that's
them.
cheap. That's cheap.
All of them. Come
I don't
on.
have a favorite.
Yeah, you
You
do.
don't have a favorite. Maybe Uncle Kracker is in it.
No, I like Old Blue Chair. That's gonna be mine.
Dude, that's actually a niche song. That's a really good song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so happy you said that, Brian. That just brought so many smiles to my face. Brian, you were the number 2 overall pick. Who's the second best country singer?
I'm gonna
of
go
all
Mr.
time?
George
Kenny
Strait.
Chesney.
George Strait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The guy who had 50 number 1 hits.
I actually did not think Brian was gonna take that, so I'm all pissed off. I went
Yeah,
third now.
Brian's got some country knowledge. We're finding out. George Strait.
I'm gonna
What's your favorite-
WNBA
what's
and
your
country,
favorite-
baby.
When you think of George Strait, what song do you think of right away?
Old Blue Chair.
Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw by Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Yeah, Brooksy, what you got?
Kenny Chesney and George Strait are heavy hitters. I mean, there's some
Yeah.
heavy hitters left on the board.
Yeah. I'm a little pissed off because I should have went second now, or I should have went third, second, whatever. Give me Johnny Cash.
Call.
Wow.
Good call, man.
Yeah, I think Johnny Cash, that's a strong pick there. Wow, I don't know. Should I go name value here or should I go personal? I might go personal with this list because I'm gonna go name value and personal. I'm gonna go Randy Travis.
Oh yeah.
At my pick, I think just one of the best deep voice singers.
I left him
ever.
off my list too, which is disappointing.
Yeah, that's bad. You shouldn't have done that.
I'm pissed off.
And then
Can't do it. Won't do it.
You're Brooks. You're gonna get Garth. I'm sorry because I'm taking T Swift. I just have to. There's no way that this is gonna wrap around, and I'm not getting Taylor Swift. So I'm the resident Swiftie on this podcast. That is my girl. I'm taking Taylor.
My girl.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. Give me Tim McGraw, please.
Whoa. Tim, son of Tug. This is a baseball podcast, so you guys might know Tug McGraw.
So Tug McGraw, nice. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with Mr. Morgan Wallen.
Oh, wow.
You went recent.
I like that. I really like Morgan Wallen. So, I like the music. Katie, you get 2 in a row here.
I'm gonna go Jason Aldean.
Jason Aldean after Kenny Chesney.
And Luke Combs.
Okay.
Wow, she's going new school. And I really like the 2 guys. I like the 2 guys you picked. By the way, no females have been taken yet.
You took Taylor Swift. What are you talking about?
By you guys.
You have a dick?
I'm 5 beers in. Shut up.
Are you a lightweight?
No, dude. I don't drink Coors Banquets all day. Except for today.
Today might be that day.
All right, back to me.
Back to you.
All right. Garth Brooks.
God damn it. I can't believe it took to the 3rd round.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, that's right. He's got shit going on, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Lots of really bad shit.
Can I retract that? Can I retract?
No. We're talking about country music artists.
All right, fair enough.
Randy Travis literally got banned from country music for 25 years. I took him number 1. So
Okay. All right.
this British Raven, stop it.
Stop. You stop that. You stop that. Give me Stapleton.
Dude, you know what's crazy is I made this list from memory of like my favorite guys, and Stapleton was like the 20th dude I thought of, and I was like, holy shit, I can't believe
How the
that.
fuck was he the 20th dude?
Because I have listened to country music for 30 years, Brian.
Yeah.
I didn't look up a list. I just was doing it off the top of my head. I just didn't.
Well,
and Shabuzi, Beyonce, Randy, get out of here, dude. Stop with that.
I don't know who the first one is. That sounds absolutely terrible.
He's the one who sings the song that's on your touch tunes at your bar every minute of every hour of every day.
That's why I also hate the person.
The guy,
so anyway,
yeah.
Chris Stapleton has the 2nd best national anthem of all time. I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah, number 1 for me. It's number 1 for me.
Whitney Houston and it's Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Whitney Houston's a little that's just it's before my time seeing it wise, but yeah, I've seen it, on YouTube countless times. But I think you're always partial to stuff you saw live. Nobody's taken Toby Keith, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that out there. R.I.P. Toby Keith. That was a huge, big part of my childhood, and also Alan Jackson.
Damn it!
I can't believe nobody took Alan Jackson a little earlier than this. I'm gonna take him. Toby Keith and Alan Jackson are my 2 there, and I think that's pretty strong too. Brooks, what do you got?
Yeah, Alan Jackson was my next pick, so now I gotta find my next one. Shit.
Brooks listens to a lot more country music now than I do. We both grew up listening to it, but he still listens to a lot more now.
I listen to a lot more I listen to a lot more people that a lot of people probably don't know. So I can't really pick them because nobody. Give me Eric Church.
Okay. You can pick whoever you want, man. It's just this is your opinion, man.
Yeah.
You're doing a little pandering, and I get that. We all do that.
Well, yeah, I am, because like there's some people that a lot of people probably don't know.
Yeah. I'm up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dolly Parton.
Dolly.
I almost took her, but I mean, to be honest, she's just not my vibe. I understand it. But she's just not my vibe.
She's just a little before my time, but she's great. Dolly World. You ever been there?
Yes.
Have you? That's crazy.
And by the way, Gatlinburg, sleepy, awesome city in Tennessee. Sleepy, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Katie, you get 2 in a row to finish off our draft here. Who you got?
This is your.
All right, I'm gonna go Shania Twain.
God damn it.
Oh.
And
Shania Twain was one of my first crushes.
she's still really hot.
Her faithful. Her faithful.
Trust me, I'm well aware.
So are your sheets.
Nice.
And I'm gonna go Dirk Bentley.
I love it. British Raven said it earlier. I thought about going there too. I saw Dirk Bentley and Miranda Lambert at the Chicken Box when it was the Royal Farm Arena, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever
He's
been
so
to,
good.
honestly.
He's really good
So
live.
good.
Yeah.
He is so good live, and also he's one of those guys you just don't realize that you know 15 of his songs.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Anyway,
finish
Brian.
out my draft. I'm going to go with a gentleman who's up and coming. He is absolutely stellar. I've been watching his music video with Halsey on YouTube a ton. He is not a well-known name. His name is Steven Wilson Jr. He has a song called My Father's Son, and I'm a Song. And if you haven't seen him, watch it. It's fucking fantastic. Steven Wilson Jr.
I like that. Never heard of that guy. Might have to check him out. Ethan Muller says this is a deep draft. Yeah, you're right, Ethan. This is
Ethan, what up, baby?
Deep draft. What's up, Ethan? I'll see you on Friday.
Ethan, every single time I fly to Indianapolis, I think of you, and I sit at the same bar stool where that crazy woman with a dog this size started calling me her husband and was trying to make out with me.
No, I will not make out with you.
Oh man, Ethan went to the bartender at the airport that day at Champs, which is not there anymore in Indianapolis Airport, RIP. But he said, "Can I get a triple whiskey and Coke?" And she said, "We don't have those here. You can have a double though." I love you, Ethan. I'm sorry I put that.
Ethan,
out
I love
there,
the shit
but
out of you. I remember I was like, I took one for the team that day, and Ethan gave me $100 for taking one for the team.
Oh, that was post fork and ale meatballs, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we've had some times, guys. Brooks, you got to finish off your draft. You got Johnny Cash, Tim McGraw, Chris Stapleton, Eric Church, and who's your last guy or girl?
Yeah, no, that's really my big thing right now. Is if I'm gonna mix in a female singer.
You don't have to. I mean, it's
no, I don't have to.
That's who you like, man.
I'm gonna take this man because I think this man. Oh God.
She gave him a double with a shot on the side, and he poured the shot into the drum. Oh man!
It came up as my Facebook memory the other day. Me with that woman.
This was coming back from Brooks' wedding, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you for celebrating my wedding so well.
Fucking ridiculous.
We stayed in a hotel that was like attached to a Wendy's. It was right next to a Wendy's, and we got so many Baconators that weekend.
It was ridiculous.
No
prostitutes. No prostitutes.
No frosties.
Oh, no frosties.
No, you don't crave frosties when you're drunk. At least I don't.
God, you said no though.
All right, Brooks, we've given you enough time. The Jeopardy music is rolling.
Well, no, you guys were sitting there talking, so I was just letting you go.
Well, we're talking because we're filling time while you look.
Oh, I'm going to go because I'm going to go with this guy. I mean, if anybody was made in the image and likeness of our Lord Jesus Christ, it was
Travis Tritt.
It was Riley Green. That man is that man is a beautiful. If I had a man crush, if I would do any man, it would be that man. I want to look like that man.
Why is Katie shaking her head like she's in total agreement with you?
I don't know who Riley Green is. I thought he was an outfielder. I thought he was an outfielder for the Tigers, which I think he is.
He is a man's man.
Have you seen his new music video?
What was that?
You should.
He played quarterback at Jacksonville State.
There's a dude on the Tigers named Riley Green who hit 25 home runs last year, and that's the only thing I can think of right now.
Ugly.
Anyway. All right, my last pick's gonna be Reba. Nobody took her. She's the best available. I have to take her. She's been on countless sitcoms, but I remember her most vividly as AJ Ferguson from The Little Rascals. This is Reba McEntire we're talking about here. I don't know how to spell her last name, so I'm not going to write it, but I just wrote Reba. You guys know who Reba is.
She's Seal. She is Cher.
She just needs one name because nobody else in the world is named Reba. At least they weren't until she came along. Biggest name we left off the list is Willie Nelson here. I think it's got to be.
Dude, is that Riley Green?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm all right. Katie, see you, dude. You're out.
So Will Compton and Taylor Lewan were literally talking about this on their podcast. So like we hung out with Riley Green this weekend, and you know what? I couldn't find a bad, like I was trying to make up shit and talk shit to him and I couldn't do it. It was like, if the man is just everything that you want to be in terms of what you want to look like. And I have to agree with him. Huge man crush.
All right. You guys want me to run through the teams here a little bit?
Not yet. Let's do honorable mentions. Let's do three at a time.
Let's do it. Okay.
You
go first. You guys go first. There's two of you.
We'll go in draft order. So give 3 honorable mentions.
Jordan Davis. He's my favorite.
He's the defensive tackle for the Eagles.
I'm going to have to go with Zach Brown. No band, apparently.
Yeah.
Zach Brown, no band. Sans band.
Yeah. And
Sans band.
Lainey Wilson.
Ooh. Like that.
I mean, man, Hank Williams Jr., Merle Haggard, Conway Twitty, all the old guys.
Wow.
Those guys.
That was a gauntlet of old.
George Jones. If we were doing just old guys, those guys are on my list, but they're not guys I listen to every single day.
Hank Williams.
That's why I said that. Oh, you want Hank Williams Senior?
He said junior. You said senior.
Yeah.
Vince Gill.
Vince Gill is great. Lee Bryce. I love Luke Bryan.
Yeah, Joe, I'm seeing you put this stuff down, Joe. We have similar taste in that stuff. Co Wetzel's a good one that I really like, and Whiskey Myers and stuff like that. But as I was saying earlier, I do listen to some country music, and obviously so does Joe, that a lot of people don't know about.
Dustin Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Like that guy's name. Pretty good stuff there.
And I'm gonna throw this one out there because
Dustin Moore.
It's sentimental to me. This name coming up, and it's very sentimental to Brooks and Dustin. It's sentimental to us. All right, Brett Eldridge. Like that song breaks me every single time. And Katie, see me cry. Let me be the one you need. It breaks me.
My wedding song, and not only that, there's another song that he sings that's very sentimental to Dustin and I and a couple other group of friends. That's a very funny one. If you guys are watching, Ryan Staten and Xander Cruz, "Beat of the Music" by Brett Eldridge we used to have a whole dance to it.
I've heard that song a lot of times.
And Drusif Burton.
My top ones are going to be my top honorable mentions are going to be Willie Nelson, Martina McBride, and Phil Vassar. Phil Vassar had so many bangers, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a guy! Billy Currington, another one. Billy Currington was awesome.
Yeah. He's okay.
Montgomery or Gentry. Also, honestly, if you're watching this and you're my friend, if you're a close friend of mine, you're going to be surprised Tracy Bird's not on my team. Sorry, he didn't make the cut, but we can't get the Watermelon Crawl. If we get country songs, the Watermelon Crawl might be number one. But I don't know if I can put Tracy Bird on there just for one song.
Or the Drinking Bone.
Yeah. I mean, he's got some.
Kelsey Ballerini, Chris Lane.
Miranda one really
Lambert.
big one. Like one of the biggest probably, I can't believe we didn't say, is Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Underwood.
Great legs.
Brooks is just Carrie Underwear.
Buh. Oh, Ryan Staten, there he is.
Oh,
He did the music. He was ready. He was ready for it. He knew it. He heard his name He heard his name and his nose started itching. He knew he had to start.
You
walking.
say it 3 times, he comes out.
Yeah.
he is Beetlejuice.
Oh man.
He was
Anyway,
he
that
was
our-
in the car with me when Brooks got married. When Flanagan asked me to open up his goddamn Angry Orchard because he couldn't open it. I'm driving and I literally am like, okay, I'll open it. And we're at a red light, and I literally throw the fucking thing out the window and just smash it. And I go, it's open. He goes, Flanagan goes, you're a fucking asshole.
By the way, no Travis Tritt.
Mm.
Travis Tritt.
Damn it.
That rules
That's a
out
huge
Country
miss.
Club.
That's a huge miss.
And quite a few, quite a few songs there. Trouble. Anyway, that was our best country singers snake draft. Thank you guys for watching and tuning in for that.
Play the music one more time.
We will play the music one more time, but let me first go through the teams real quick.
Mhm.
Katie, Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, Luke Combs, Shania Twain, and Dirks Bentley. That's a nice little squad.
Solid.
That's a nice little squad. Brian, George Strait, Morgan Wallen, Garth Brooks, Dolly Parton, and Steven Wilson Jr. Brooks.
Brian's going to win with his first 3.
Yeah, he might. Garth going in the 3rd round. Yeah. But, a lot of stuff going on. Brooks got Johnny Cash, Tim McGraw, Chris Stapleton, Eric Church, and Riley Green.
Hmm.
And me, the
Did
only
you
guy with
fart?
2 ladies
Did you
on the
fart
team.
and burp at the same time?
I just burped. I didn't fart, but
All right.
I mean, you can purport it as well as you want to.
Trey Lewis,
Randy
like
Travis,
him as well.
Randy Travis, Taylor
Josh
Swift,
Moyes.
Toby Keith, Alan Jackson, and Reba McEntire. I can't spell McIntyre. Nobody can.
Brooksy, before you play the music, Brooksy, I'm stunned you didn't take John Party because you used to love that.
I do
really
like John Party.
I really like him too.
that.
He's
I
one of
would
the
say
newer,
I
he's
like
one of the
it-
newer guys that I like the most.
I like yeah. I can't put him over Riley Green though.
It's because of the abs.
Yeah, I mean, it's because I want to sleep with my musician as well. Man, I am struggling to talk right now.
What is
And with
going
that-
on?
Oh man,
Well,
spring
we
has
should-
sprung.
We successfully terrified the living hell out of Katie.
We did it.
You're welcome. Oh man, that was fun. I love
good.
reminiscing about country music.
I
Joe
like
Radke
having
says
fun.
Brooks won, no doubt. Handsome fella, Riley Green. Ethan says, transition gets me every time. Yeah, you're not the only one, Nick. Honestly, that thing gets me every time too.
If I wanted to do like the actual draft that I would want to do, I got Joe Radke's vote by a mile.
Somebody hasn't cooked rice in a microwave, and it shows. I like that. That's a good one. No Lone Star love either, by the way. Oh no, that's a band.
It's
We
a
can't
group.
do
Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it.
that, man. I thought about taking Ronnie Dunn just as a solo guy because he's such a good singer.
He is pretty good. I mean, his solo album's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Honestly,
Pretty good.
realistically, I think I probably could have gotten Brooks and Dunn in there over somebody if it was available. But anyway, that was our country music draft, and it was a lot of fun. He says
Man, we need to
were
do
not
that
amazed.
again.
Nick, that was
We were
that's-
not amazed. You can go suck my ass, Nick.
Maybe,
All right.
maybe I'm amazed by your comment. Shut up.
Baby, I'm amazed.
It was just solo, yes, Joe Radke. We did not allow allow groups, according to Brian Rogers, who was our
Resident rules official.
yeah. I was gonna say fearless
Eh.
leader, but you know,
No, a fearless leader or farm animal.
our
Lead
our
farm
fear
animal.
our fearful leader.
Our fearless farm.
I said
Our
to Katie,
fearless
I was
farm animal, yeah.
while we're transitioning, I said to Katie, I'm like, did you have fun? She goes, absolutely not.
Well,
Oh man.
she's not invited back then.
Oh, man.
Sorry about it.
You're not invited back, Katie. Sorry. It's been fun knowing you.
All right, let's transition back into the world of sports. Did you guys see how Alexander Ovechkin scored 3 goals in the same game the other night? Has anybody ever done that before?
I think he has 20 times, or I'm sorry, against 20 different teams,
So
which I
crazy.
thought was
So crazy.
so crazy. Something against 20 different franchises.
It's going for the hat trick on the whole league. Florida Georgia line.
He's doing so. If somebody would have picked Florida Georgia Line, I probably would have just gotten off the pod.
This is
Oy.
well. This is funny. You bring up Florida Georgia Line because I love Tyler Hubbard. Like I love the song 5'9". I went to a Jason Aldean concert and Florida Georgia Line was the opener. They weren't known at the time, and they had a 4-song opener. They chugged 2 bottles of Fireball between the two of them in those 4 songs. So how long does 4 songs take? Like 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
John Langston's a big one.
Fireball too, man. Were they chasing them with Tums? Jesus.
No, there was bottles sitting on stage. There was at the old chicken
Imagine
box.
how much
Laura Farms
heartburn you would have if I drank that much Fireball. I would have heartburn for decades.
I mean, they were putting on a show. They did a great job. That's what Jason Aldean's big song was, "Night Train" or Night Song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He likes night. He likes the nighttime. Anyway, back to
Alexander
Ovechkin.
13 goals to pass Gretzky. I think they have something like 25, 26 games left to play. It's funny. The night before he scored 3 goals, the Caps scored 8 goals, and he had nothing. He wasn't even on the board. He was no assists, no goals, and then the next day they played, and he put up 3. How about this? I mean, at this point, this dude has broken his leg in the middle of this season, missed a complete month of the season, which, by the way, broke his leg and missed 1 month. That's
nuts.
And
it should be 8 weeks.
He comes back. He's on his historic run based on, his career seemed to be declining for quite a while. For the last couple of years, his goal numbers have gone down. His ice time has gone down. And we get it. He's older. And this is what happens to athletes when they get older. And this season, for whatever reason, he came out of the gate completely just torched the league. And he comes back now off of the broken leg, and he's even better seemingly than he was before. And after this All-Star break, which was the best All-Star break in the history of hockey, as far as I'm concerned. And he comes back and he puts up a 3 spot on honestly, I don't even know who they played. I can't remember who they played that game, but
Edmonton. They played Edmonton.
How awesome is what he's doing right now? And what do you guys think about the fact that he has a chance to break this record? And do you think he'll break this record?
I think he will break the record this season. I believe he's going to have another hat trick at some point or another because there's teams that will start to give up, start playing younger guys coming up from the AHL. So I do believe he will break the record this season, and it'll probably be last 1 or 2 games of the year. It's amazing what this new coach, who came from the Hershey Bears of the AHL, is doing with this team, because this team was not supposed to be where they are. And it almost seems like Ovi is rejuvenated. It really does. It feels like it's a rejuvenation year for him, which is weird to say. I mean, the man looks old, just like I look old. Like, he is just coming in hot, and he's doing exactly what he needs to do, and he's still a leader of this team, and he's doing it without some of his, stalwart guys. It's Tom Wilson and John Carlson are the 2 guys that really, still are with him. Backstrom is, doing what Backstrom needs to do right now for his life. So it's crazy.
Is this the part of the podcast where you get real close to the mic and get into golf voice?
This sounds like the IRS on the other end of your line.
They're always listening, bud.
Oh, dude. Big Brooks, Brother is real.
Brooks, what do you think about Ovi?
He's awesome. I can't get off of our snake draft right now. There's 3 people that I just wrote down that I'm really mad that I didn't take.
Who are they?
Tyler Childers.
Oh, man. How do we miss Tyler Childers?
Childress, it's Childers.
Whatever.
Joe Diffie.
I don't know who that is. That's
Cody
a shame on me.
And Cody Johnson that I would trade would probably trade all of them into my lineup right now, and I'm really like I didn't even listen to half of what Dustin just said because I'm that upset.
So what you don't realize is that the people watching can actually see you scroll.
You don't know Joe Diffie?
I don't.
What?
Does he sell paper products? Who the fuck is Joe Diffie?
Pickup man? John Deere Green?
Ooh, okay. All right, I know Joe Diffie.
Come on now.
Come on, Mom.
We're back on country artist, Dustin, because I'm very upset with 3 that I just missed.
Okay. What are the 3 that you missed?
Joe Diffie.
That's fine. He's got like 3 good songs.
Tyler Childers.
Okay. New guy. Not as into him.
Cody Johnson.
New guy, not as into him. I'm not upset. You might be. That's fine.
I'm real upset.
George is getting upset.
I would trade the farm. I would
George
trade
is
the
angry.
farm. I'd trade the farm.
The family farm? I would trade most of your artists for Martina, by the way.
McBride?
You can't have Independence Day without Martina.
I'm pissed off I didn't bring up Alison Krauss. Whiskey Lullaby is one of my favorite songs. She's just got a great voice. I know it's a sad song, but
Joe D. Messina.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a Heads Carolina.
Yeah, Cody Jenks. Cody Jenks is a good one, Joe.
Red Akins is good. That's Thomas Rhett's dad. He sings "That Ain't My Truck in Your Drive." I like that song.
Is Jelly Roll country? Jelly Roll's country, right?
Jelly Roll is country. Yeah,
a little bit.
Best new artist.
Soulful country.
Yeah. He's country.
What's that? Musgraves? Why am I blanking on her first name?
Casey Musgraves.
Casey Musgraves. She's.
I thought you were about to say Kelly Pickler.
Also, sorry, Alexander Ovechkin, but this snake draft was too good.
Yeah,
too good.
Sorry,
It was
Obi.
too good.
Nobody's talking about Obi. He's 13 goals away from being the best goal scorer in NHL history, and we're talking.
Did we just
about
become
Rhett
ESPN?
Atkins.
Are we ESPN? We're talking about Rhett Atkins.
We are. Yeah.
They would never.
To the crowd.
They would never talk. They would never talk about country music the way that we do.
No, they probably wouldn't. Right.
Taking a right turn from the left-hand lane, boys. Yeah, I love it,
guys. I want to redo this.
Classic rock guy, Rick. Honestly,
Rick Arnold.
We're probably going to have best rock artists,
or groups,
best rappers.
Without a doubt.
I'm going to suck at that.
Yeah, we're not going to do rock artists. Rock artists is rock has to be a band.
We can also do best.
Yeah,
we could do best frontman. Best frontman would be kick ass.
We could do best grunge bands. We could do best frontman. Oh, best frontman's an electric draft.
I mean, if Freddie Mercury doesn't go number 1, I'm gonna stab you guys.
He won't for me.
I did put the bird call out. I put the bird call out today on some give us some tips on what we should do for the snake draft, and the overwhelming majority was best cereal, and we did that a couple weeks ago, guys. Just giving you a heads up. We can't do that one again. I don't think it went that well, to be honest with you. I think we kind of sucked at it.
Well, none of us eat cereal.
We'll get demonetized with the best porn stars. We can do that too.
Jesus, Murphy, dude. Do we include the girl that was in your house the other day?
No, please don't. Please don't.
Oh man. Anyway,
all right. So Obi goals. He's gonna break it. Hey, you guys tell me. This is a debate that was happening.
How many games are left?
Like 24?
25-ish.
Oh, he's getting it.
Question for you guys. Do you think Sidney Crosby or Alex Ovechkin is a better hockey player all around?
Better hockey player, Sidney Crosby. Better hockey player, Alexander Ovechkin.
I'm taking Sidney Crosby.
Yeah. Better career definitely is Crosby for sure. Ovechkin will go down as the best goal scorer of all time, but I think he'll be remembered specifically as that. I think Crosby will be remembered as one of the all-time greats of hockey. And not that Alex won't be, but I think he'll be a little bit further down the list.
I think
it feels more like LeBron versus KD, where I think Ovechkin is kind of in the KD and Crosby's in the LeBron. And they're both excellent, top 15 players of all time kind of guys.
Yeah.
But
better scorer versus better all-around player.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. And also Crosby I mean, we talked about the Olympic record. What did he win? Like 26 straight international games. He's like 47-6. He's got 3 gold medals. He's got 3 Stanley Cups. I mean, it's just it's overwhelming the amount of accolades that the guy has gotten. Brooks, what were you about to say? I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
I don't think you did.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking Crosby all day.
Oh no, yeah. So yeah, I was just gonna say Crosby, all around Crosby. I think your everything you just said there was correct.
Yeah.
It's like I believe Mario Lemieux is probably the greatest hockey player of all time, but he was hurt so much. Wayne Gretzky is. I'm taking Wayne Gretzky and I'm literally putting him to the side because it's just so unfair.
Yeah. It's like if you compare receivers to Jerry Rice, and I honestly, I don't think that people give Jerry Rice enough credit. Just go look at the numbers. He is so much better than everybody else who's ever played wide receiver. It's crazy. And I'm including Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Megatron, like the best of the best. He is a time and a half or 2 times better than all of those guys. He's unassailable on his own level. And I think Gretzky is in that same boat. Sorry, I stole your thunder there, but
no, it's fine. That's the point. It's your thunder too, man. It is your thunder as well.
Thunder Gun Express.
Megatron.
Great call out.
Megatron was.
He hangs dong.
Jesus. And I'm talking
We're
about.
We're talking about Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I'm sorry.
I'm aware.
I'm a lot of Coors Banquets deep.
Megatron was so ridiculously good, and he came from a school that didn't throw. Like I think they threw like 128 times in a season. Where did Jerry Rice go to college?
HBCU.
It's like Missouri Western or something like that. What is it?
Brooks, you want a shot at it?
Nah, because I know it's an HBCU, and I just won't get it.
Mississippi Valley State.
Yeah. Similar to
where did T.O. go?
I was gonna say similar to T.O.
Tennessee Chattanooga.
Yeah. And AB went to Central Michigan, and Calvin Johnson went to Georgia Tech, who was running the Wishbone.
Yep.
And
where did DeMarcus Ware go?
Troy.
There you go.
I knew that.
Cowboy Troy.
Anyway, all right. We've reached a quiet part of our podcast, I guess. Where do you guys want to go with the discussion now? Brian, do you have any other topics you would like to bring up?
Brian, what baseball movies have you been watching?
All right, so Katie and I I'm trying to educate Katie on a couple of sports movies. So we watched Little Giants. I know that's not a baseball movie.
What did she think about Ice? What did she think about Icebox?
Icebox is one of the sexiest women I've ever seen in my entire life, and she's an adolescent. I'm kidding, guys. We watched Bull Durham.
Nice.
She loves Annie Savoy. Absolutely loves.
Love that.
She loved Bull Durham, and then we watched The Sandlot. Now she already seen The Sandlot.
I hope so.
Yeah. So now I need to do For Love of the Game. I need to do Field of Dreams. Katie, you seen Field of Dreams? That's a no. So that's homework tonight.
Honestly,
Rookie of the Year.
Maybe let's go through a couple more before we get to Field of Dreams. That's you got to be into baseball, I think.
She won't.
Our friend Sean Foy is hugely into baseball, and he doesn't even like that movie.
Sean Foy is not allowed on this trip that we're going on next week because he hasn't seen Field of Dreams. I still thought for his wedding we should have taped him down and taped his eyelids open so that he had to watch Field of Dreams before he got married.
Oh, man.
So did you guys see this? That Sammy Sosa is at the Cubs spring
He turned
training?
black again?
Well, he kind of. But yeah, he's at Cubs spring training. He's back.
Cool.
Good for him. Wow.
That's
So
kinda cool.
so I did know
I didn't see that.
I did know that last summer the Chicago Cubs had a big post on social media about how that they were gonna bring Sammy Sosa back into the fold or whatever, and they were gonna honor him. But I can't remember exactly how that went. I guess that it's going well. That's good. I'm gonna be watching Trouble with the Curve when I get.
I'm gonna be watching my favorite horror
Nick,
movie.
Nick, why? Nick, I have exactly one thing to say about this movie. Matthew Lillard was probably my most likable dude in the whole world until that movie came out. And he is the bad guy in that movie. He is Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo movies. He's literally like the nicest guy on the planet. He's the bad guy in the movie. He's the scout who doesn't want to draft the guy who, you want Matthew Lillard for that whole reason? I don't get it. I love Matthew Lillard. I got a ton of reasons why, but
he's also the catcher in Summer Catch.
This guy is such a happy-go-lucky character, and
he must love baseball because he's Brew. He's Brubaker.
He's Billy Brubaker. He's the best.
I hope Liverpool loses every game the rest of the English Premier League season.
Oh man, come on, you Gunners! Sorry, British Raven, I had to.
Man, that movie as a baseball movie stinks.
It sucks. It's like Summer Catch stinks.
Did you see he has trouble with the curve?
Oh.
You can't see it, you can hear it. Remember that? Yeah.
He can't see it.
Cheap Legos. Nice.
Oh man. Next time he walks into his house after a couple hours.
No. I was stepping on apparently a naked woman when I walk in my house.
Dildo.
What do you guys think about the ABS thing? I saw Max Scherzer got a couple of strikes revoked today, and he was real pissed about it. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see anything today. I didn't get a chance to watch the ball game either. It wasn't televised.
So they're testing out the tap your head for balls and strikes thing. And it's if you've seen a tennis match over the last 15, 20 years, it's when they go you challenge and it says in or out and it gives you like the little graphic. It's similar to that. It gives you like a real small, or it gives you a strike zone and it gives you a real small thing on the side of the screen and it says, and it just gives you the trajectory of the ball in the quote unquote strike zone. And the hitters are able to challenge it. I think the pitchers are able to challenge it as well, strikes the balls. But either way, Max Scherzer was pissed off because he had 2 strikes called today that ended up the batter challenged and they ended up being balls. And
I think
he thinks that he's skeptical of the system. What do you guys think about the fact that they're implementing this?
Well, to start, did you see how like the actual zone is recorded?
No, I have not.
So it's basically
is it letters to knees or what is it?
Well, yeah, it's your regular strike zone, but it's like the strike zone of the guy if he's not wearing cleats standing up before he gets into his stance.
Nice. So
yeah,
Jose's strike zone is what, like 4 inches?
What? No, before he gets into his stance.
Okay.
So I mean, you can't sit there and just like bend over like Pete Rose or something like that.
Yeah.
But still, it's weird as shit.
Well, that kind of stuff I think needs to be standardized.
It does.
But there will be modifications.
Yeah, but Aaron Judge's strike zone is probably going to be a little bit bigger than Jose Altuve's strike zone. It just is. Yeah, but I don't understand.
No, it should be standardized into like terms of the batter.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if you're crouching down like freaking Jeff Bagwell and you're 5'7", it's tough. I think that would be tough to navigate those specific situations.
But that's why they're doing as barefoot. Here's where it is, just standing straight up. It's like the height of the player, so it's based on that. So you can't sit there and try to manipulate the whole thing.
Okay.
So it makes a little bit of sense, but it's also like. I don't know.
So where are you at? Just give me say you're 100% for it or you're 100% against it or you're somewhere in the middle. Like what?
Well, I'm definitely somewhere in the middle. I just don't.
Are you 0% for or against?
No.
Or are you leaning one way or the other?
I like it because I like that it gets it right.
Yeah.
But it does kind of it's only 2 challenges a game, and it's not one of these things where it's
that's what I like about it. Yeah,
it's not 2 challenges and you get the third. If you get the 2 right, you don't get the third.
And it's not like this is going to be happening multiple times per inning every game.
And it
You know
takes
what I mean?
10 seconds, right? I mean, it's like challenge. They put it up on the scoreboard. You see it, and then it's done.
What? I mean, we
I'm just
talked
a
about
little-
this the other day with Pigtown's podcast.
Yeah.
It took like 20 or 30 seconds. That's too long.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really. I mean, I watched it in real time, like when they showed, like on Twitter the other day when somebody did it, and it's like, I mean, maybe it is that long, and then put a stopwatch to it, but it's not very long. Like he goes like this. They literally put it up on the scoreboard. They run the replay, and they're like, "All right," and it says ball or strike on it. Come here, buddy, and then that's it. Somebody wants to come say goodnight. Hi.
Oh, Katie.
Is that
What's
Uncle
up,
Dusty?
buddy? What's
Katie.
up, buddy?
You say hi to everybody.
How you doing?
Hi, Mr.
Can-
Banksy. How's
can
your
it-
juice?
Can you wave? Can you
Introduce
wave
the
to him?
podcast listeners. This is our buddy Banks. What's up, Banksy? How you doing,
He's-
buddy?
He's about to go to bed. He wants to give me a hug.
Oh,
We say goodnight to everybody. You say goodnight to we wave.
Oh.
Bye.
Wave and say goodnight to everybody.
Is that hoppy or is that soft hoppy or hoppy?
This is Happy New.
Hoppy new?
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's new. Hoppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hoppy is
He's got
Banksy.
Happy New, Happy Soft. We got a couple.
Yeah.
Night night, buddy.
I can hear Caitlin
Hoppy
in
is
the
Banksy's
background.
safekeeper, by the way, if you guys don't know. Hoppy does all.
I think Caitlin is the keeper of Banks. I think Brooks is the destroyer of worlds.
Mm. Caitlin is the keymaster. Brooks is the gatekeeper.
Ghostbusters.
There's a lot of Ghostbusters.
I tried to think about something that I thought would never harm me. Something that I loved as a kid. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
If someone asks if you're a god, you always say,
Yes.
yes.
Bankman.
Oh man.
Well, I think
All right.
I'm going to get killed by Katie here shortly.
All right,
Well,
guys.
Black
I
is
think
wa-
we've reached the standstill in the podcast, which means it tells me that we probably should start wrapping up. Does
Well,
anybody have any
one-
topics that they want to
Yes.
talk about before we start wrapping up the show?
Well, given the name,
just wanted to let you
given the name of our podcast, we should talk about the Terps.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of our main things that we didn't talk
I
about.
tried to start the podcast with it, but you wanted to talk about the combine in baseball season, by the way.
You want me to comment
Terps
now?
are ranked number
stupidest look on his
16 in the
face, look
newest
at him.
in the
You
newest
want me to
AP
comment?
poll.
Talk about the Terpies and how big this game is coming up.
Nobody has commented on this sick natural light shirt I'm wearing.
It's fucking delicious.
Because you can't see it. Now you can
can't
see
see
it.
it. Now you can
see
see
it
it.
now. This is Christmas, by the way.
Feels like Christmas. No,
Um,
talk about how big the game is with the Terps coming up tomorrow. It's Michigan State, 6:30, I believe.
Yes, 6:30 p.m. The Terps will be playing Michigan State. The feared Fighting Tom Izzos will be coming to
January,
Wait,
February,
where's
March.
the game?
Izzo, it's in Maryland.
It's in Maryland.
In Maryland. Nice.
So
and
if
I
you don't
knew
go to
that.
that game,
Shame
I'm
on
gonna
you.
be fucking pissed.
If you're in the stands and you're not holding a newspaper in front of your face when the other team is getting introduced and you're not rattling that newspaper, you're not a Terps fan. You need to go to that game. You need to be in it. It is the most fun thing to do. I'm talking as a guy who went to Maryland, who went 4 years straight of every single game. I missed one game. We played LIU Brooklyn, and we beat them by 40. I missed one game in my 4 years at Maryland, one home game. And the best thing in the world is being in the crowd as a Terps fan in the Terps Stadium when there's a big game. There's no other feeling like it. It is electric, and it's so much fun, and it's going to be awesome. And Tom Izzo is I've been talking
Who else would
about
you rather
Tom
play?
Izzo.
Who else
I
would
mean,
you rather play?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Tom Izzo or Coach K.
Coach
Those
K.
are the guys I want to beat.
Or
Those are the guys.
Petrina. Yeah.
Patino, too. By the way,
Yeah.
St. John's putting on a defensive clinic this year, trying to
I
be
mean,
Virginia
yeah.
from years of old.
Dude, they put up 90 points against UConn.
Yeah. Also, Brian, I don't know where you stand on Danny Hurley now. I know where you stood on him last year at this time. UConn's coach, Danny Hurley, can just go kick a box of rocks as far as I'm concerned. I can't stand that guy.
Well, we're still going to get in the tournament at this point.
Oh, I know. But I just don't like the guy. I'm just talking about the guy, not the team.
No, I understand. You're talking about the person, not
Yeah.
the program. Hey, he look, when you win, winning is the best deodorant. It's the easiest way to put it. So when his antics work because they're winning, it's awesome. When his antics don't work because they're losing, everyone hates him.
They lost to St. John's by like 35 the other night, and it was not that fun for him, I don't think, right? But when they beat Creighton and he was bullshitting with all the students at Creighton, it was funny. I just fuck that guy, dude.
He's Steve. And I'm not shitting on Stephen A. Smith, but we talked about ESPN and caricatures of people. He has become a caricature of a basketball coach. He is literally a cartoon character. He's Hank Hill.
He did this before he won his second national championship in a row.
But remember, he was winning, so we accepted it. Now that he's losing, we don't accept it. I don't like it. I don't like it if he was winning or losing. That's me personally. I don't give a shit. He's a fucking asshat.
He's the next season. He's won the last two. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, really. He could win this one. He could still win this one. He could win 3 in a row.
He could. That would be great. And
he could do whatever the fuck he wants.
I'm not rooting against him. I just think he looks like a fucking jackwagon.
I agree, Brooks, that he can do whatever he wants, but my problem is that he does do whatever he wants. Like, if I was in that situation, just have a little bit of, self-respect or self-reflection or self-awareness. Exactly. Yeah. What Brian, sorry, you owe me a Coke. You owe me a Coors Banquet.
Self-awareness. I mean, it's I always say this.
Self-awareness would tell you that I just won back-to-back national titles and that never happens, and I can do whatever the hell I want.
I love when coaches ask.
Immediately when you win your second national championship in a row, you can just start being the complete biggest piece of shit on the planet, and that's fine.
He was doing that. He was doing that before he won the second one. And
I know. That's what we're saying. We're criticizing him. You're defending him.
He's not the biggest piece of shit on the planet.
He's not. You're right. Sorry, it's the figure of speech. You're right.
You're right. Shouldn't have said it that way. Understood.
But I've had 7 Coors Banquets, and this is what happens.
Hey, just a little glimpse into how Sarasota is going to be. If you want to join the Huckleberries, it's going to get worse than this. I'm telling you, it's going to get worse.
Is it Sarasota or Sarasota?
Sarasota.
When we're in the Sarasotos. Now it's named Sarasota when the O's are down there.
I think Juan Sarasota hit a homer the other day.
Sarasota. Steve Saganu.
I did have another thing about the Terps, though. Like, if the Terps, like you bitch and moan about like the Terps not having a good team for X amount of years, and they've been so on and off and hot and cold, and now you finally have another good team to root for again. We're now up to number 16, and there's been 2 home games in a row where the students have been 75% maybe in the stadium.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on with that?
I have to say, like, this game's going to be sold out no matter what. I get it. It's a big game, but we have 3 games left. Show up to all those games. They better sell out in terms of the students. They better be there. Like, you sat there and bitched and moaned for the last few years. You bitch and moan because you don't get dollar beers. Shut the fuck up, man. Go show up to the game. You have a team now that's worth rooting for, that has a chance to make a run at this thing if they get hot. And they finally gave you a top 20 team, the number 16 team in the nation now, and you should show up as like a number 16 student section in the nation. Like, you're showing up like a fucking like an NEC school right now,
and one of the most storied basketball schools in the country historically. I know it hasn't been that way for the last 20 years, but look, man, 10 years ago when I was in college, this is what people love to hear. When I was in college stuff.
Back in my day.
10 years ago, back in my day, we were showing up in droves to see Pishon Howard and fucking Roddy Peters play basketball against fucking who God knows what. And you guys can't show up for the number 16 team in the country with Derek Queen, who's this like electric freshman.
Finally kept one home.
Certainly not going to be here next year because he's probably going to be a lottery pick. and we have all of these dudes in there, and we actually have a really good team this year in a year where it kind of looks like it's pretty open. Other than Duke and Auburn, I think they're in
Florida. Florida's really good.
Florida, yeah, and St. John's. I mean, there's a lot of good teams, but Duke, particularly because of Cooper Flagg, I think is the team that scares me the most. But God, do I want to see Duke in the tournament? How awesome would that be? A Maryland Duke game in the tournament.
Oh, I would love it.
I might go. I literally might go.
I want to bring a guillotine.
We can't say Maryland basketball died with Len Bias because, I mean, they won a national championship after that.
We won a national championship in 2002, and then we went to another Final Four 2 years later. I mean, it's you're right. Maryland basketball has not been relevant for quite a long time, but yeah, I don't necessarily think it died when Len Bias died, and that was unbelievably
definitely
tragic.
took a hit.
Yeah, definitely took a hit. Definitely took a hit, and that was unbelievably tragic. And Len Bias, same draft as Michael Jordan. What a legendary draft that could have been.
And Michael Jordan talks about how great Len Bias was. He said he was me before me.
Yeah. And that's crazy because Len Bias got drafted by the Celtics. People forget that the Celtics at that point were not even, I mean, they were as close to a dynasty as you're going to get.
They drafted him a year before he was eligible.
Parrish and Danny Ainge and all those guys. I mean, they were a fucking madhouse of talent.
Jordan would talk about his elbow.
Bill Walton.
And how straight it was.
Crazy.
Like going back to like the coaching, like once again, winning is the best deodorant. I always love coaches. And look, like obviously I've coached a lot. And I'm a hothead when it comes to coaching and getting my team fired up. So I love my kids. I love my team. I love dugout camaraderie. I don't preach discipline. I love coaches that preach discipline and then ask discipline of their players and then show no discipline on their own right. Like, how can you preach one thing and then do the opposite and then ask your team to follow you into battle? That's bullshit to me. So that's why I never liked Bobby Knight. That's why I don't really respect Daniel Hurley. I respect the winning. I don't respect his tactics. It's like, hey, be smart, be right, be true on the court, and then I'm gonna go out and act like a fucking asshat, like I'm going across the Oregon Trail, and it's a runaway wagon. Like, that's stupid to me.
Maybe it's something that we're missing, man. Maybe it's just something that we're missing. Because, I mean, a lot of the really successful coaches in college basketball over the last 20 years have been guys that I don't necessarily look up to. Talking about a sweaty dude in Sean Miller. We're talking about a guy, Danny in Hurley that I don't really love all that much. And we're talking about a couple other guys, Mike Krzyzewski, who, whenever they lost a couple games in a row would feign a health problem. Sorry. Talking about a guy after he retires. But anyway.
I was looking at Tony Dungy. Tony Dungy didn't have to yell. He didn't cuss. He was just him. And his players loved him and respected him for it. Well, yeah, and that's why I love his book, Quiet Strength. It's fucking amazing. If you haven't read it, read it.
I know we were. I mean, I know I was kind of like sticking up for him a little bit. I'm not saying I like Danny Hurley at all.
Yeah. Somebody's got to play devil's advocate on the.
I'm just giving. Yeah, I'm giving the other side a little bit. If I'm playing for that man, I'm saying, hey, he can shut the fuck up. We can do whatever we want.
Yes,
we're the kings. We're at the top.
I like this comment. Nick, sometimes yelling and cussing leads to a lack of buy-in. I agree. I think that could come as well. I think we've all been part of teams where the coach was a little bit too hard-nosed, right? I'm sure you guys have been as well. I have been for sure. And I didn't get as much out of the experience as I probably could have. And I think there's another way too, where the coach isn't harsh enough and isn't bought in enough, and you don't get as much out of the players too. There's a middle ground to coaching that I think is a really tough thing to kind of put your finger on, and
it's year to year too. It depends on the squad. It depends on the players. Like it depends on it's player to player as well. It depends on how you want to coach each one as well.
And also, if you have an assistant coach who's a little harder, you know what I mean? Maybe you have to lay off sometimes, and maybe the other way around too. So
good cop, bad cop.
Exactly. So I really like that point, Brooks. If you want to expand upon that, I'm sorry.
It's a great point, Brooksy. It's a great point. My buddy John, my fraternity brother John Eric Alvestead just texted me. He's going to be down in Sarasota when we're down there. He wants to join up with us for have a beer. So JE, JE, if you're listening, man, love the shit out of you. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. Hopefully, it'll be awesome, man.
Hell yeah.
So,
what's your number one dish that you're looking forward to having in Sarasota, or has that not crossed your mind?
A daiquiri.
That's not a dish. You could put it in a dish. It would be tough. It would be tough to consume that way.
Nah, I'll probably do
Grouper.
some.
Anything grouper.
Yeah, just grouper.
Just grouper in general.
General grouper.
Yeah,
Katie,
just grouper fingers, grouper,
Florida.
just like a grouper entree, like whatever. Their grouper down there is always the best.
He's thinking out loud, but he's not doing. He's doing it on mute. What's going on?
Katie said I should try ceviche.
Ooh,
You can do that in Maryland.
you could do that in Maryland.
No,
I know a spot.
I can go tap dancing in Maryland. I can tap dance in Florida if I wanted
Like
to.
Michael Flatley.
I'm gonna use the little boys' room, and then should we send
Well,
this thing off?
I was going to
with
say.
a chug? Do you want to
use
send
the
this thing off with a chug?
Use the little boys' room. We'll send it off with a chug, and then I'm going to go hang out with Katie, and we're going to watch a movie.
What movie are you going to watch? You know what I watched? Do you know what I watched yesterday or 2 days ago for the first time in 15 years? Guess what I watched? First time I've seen the movie in 15 years.
Wild Things.
Not Wild Things, not Striptease.
Okay.
I'll give you one hint.
G.I. Jane.
Brad Pitt and Eric Bana are both in the movie.
Troy.
Yes, it is. It is Troy. It was on the Sci-Fi Channel. I came home from a round of golf, which I'm super proud of, by the way. First round of golf this year, guys. Played with a pink ball because it was the only ball that I had in my bag that wasn't white, and there was snow on the ground. Not the whole course wasn't covered in snow, but some of it. So I wanted to use a ball that was not white so that I could find my ball if there happened to be snow. And I used the one ball the whole round, which is one of 3 times that I've done that in my whole life. I used one single ball the whole round of golf, and I shot 85, and it was great. It was awesome. And that was my bragging segment, and that was presented by me.
Presented by me. All right. So everyone's bringing their sticks down, right? Everyone's bringing their clubs.
Oh yeah, we're bringing the sticks. Yeah, and if you don't want to, I'm left-handed too, so we're good.
If you're listening, we're trying to set up a match against the Ryan Ripken show guys. We'll see if we can get that scheduled. That's all schedule pending. We both of us, both groups of guys have a lot of stuff that we're trying to get accomplished while we're down there. So we're still talking through that. I actually talked to Rip today on the phone. So trying to figure that out. We're also going to do, if we do get on the course, we will definitely get out with Tim Meza from the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we'll film that as well, or at least parts of that as well.
Is he lefty too?
Yep. So 3 lefties versus a righty.
I've reached out to Spence a couple times, so see where that goes.
Yeah. So
I mean, we have a built-in segment: 2 lefties versus 1 righty.
And the last time Dusty and I golfed together, I think we beat the living shit out of Brooks and Glenn Rothschild.
Glenn, who was wearing denim. He was wearing denim to the golf course, by the way.
That man looks great. He looks great in denim. Denim.
Oh man, maybe my 5-wood will make an appearance. We'll see. Who knows?
That head broke off.
That thing got broken 10 years ago, and nobody's ever talked about it again.
That little guy, I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
Yeah, that little guy gone. I'll give you a Maverick 3 hybrid, man, if you want. It's yours. free no charge. It's like a repayment.
Dude, I'm in.
I'll give it to you. You can take it from me when we're down there.
I'm joking.
All right. We got to chug a beer, right?
Yes, we need to chug a beer.
Send us.
All right.
Send us on our way, as Rusted Root would say. Send me on my way.
I'll send you off on this note. I have
Send me on my way.
Yeah, my roommate is going through. I'm not going to name names. My roommate is going through a tough time with his family. He's up in Rhode Island right now. Thinking about you, buddy. Love you. I hope your brother is going to be okay. and going to be okay is probably a long shot. Hence why I'm delaying my day to Sarasota. So,
Yeah.
Thinking about you, Kyle, and I love you, man.
Yeah.
Boom.
Cheers.
Oh, we going?
Let's go.
So carbonated.
That was cold. That was real
Yeah.
cold.
Turns out.
My eyes are watering, not from what I just said, but from the carbonation of a White Claw.
Yeah, I think that's a lie. I think that's the biggest lie since global warming. Anyway,
it really is no this one. No.
Guys, that was our happy hour edition of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture podcast.
That's a little sneak peek into what you're going to see in Sarasota.
That is a little sneak peek. Is exactly what I was about to say. A little sneak peek of what you're going to be seeing in our Florida content. It's going to be a little bit more off the rails than normal, a little bit less PC than normal, which I think is a fun thing to do because this is how real world people interact. We don't interact like we're robots on the internet all the time. I know that we can kind of maybe seem that way in our podcast, but hopefully we don't. And hopefully you guys enjoy tuning in. But tonight,
believe it or not, we're actually decent human beings who love everybody and love camaraderie and great people. And obviously, thank you to Miss Katie, who's over here on the other end, taking care of about 4 dogs right now. And I'm the 5th dog in the relationship. So
shit, Brooks, do we need to do a little British Raven call-in emergency special?
Emergency special. If you want to do British Raven real quick, but
if BR is up, if BR is up.
Hey, Nick, if you're on, call in because we're stupid and we didn't do this. But Nick, you're the guy who's going to call in tonight, and then we're going to wrap this thing up because there may or may not be a 22-year-old dude who's never bartended closing the bar that I work at right now, and I got to go make sure he's okay.
Probably bartending is such an easy job. It's just like make drinks, listen to people.
It is really easy, but if you've done it before, I've been doing it for 10 years. You've been doing it for 100 years. Like we can do this with our eyes closed. But like this is a 22-year-old kid who's never bartended a shift in his life. Like I
get
need
his
to go
fucking thumbs off his goddamn phone and figure it the fuck out.
He'll be fine.
You look someone in the eye.
He was a kicker at a D3 school that we don't need to.
They measured his hands. Sure.
They would measure his hands if they. He always says well, we're not going to go into it.
Do you have big hands? I have tiny hands.
I would say I have hands.
Katie is in the background going, "You do have tiny hands." Go fuck yourself.
I would say my hands are exactly proportionate to my body. I wouldn't say they're any bigger or larger than they should be.
I'll end it with this since British Raven said he's in bed right now.
British Raven. I thought it was morning there. What time is it in British land?
Well, this could be his bedtime.
Could
be his bedtime.
Hours? Are they 8 hours?
So could be his bedtime.
Oh, Liverpool's going to sleep. Whoopsie daisies.
2:15 a.m. 2:15 a.m.
My liver's going to be in a pool in Sarasota in about a week.
Fair enough, British Raven. I'll leave you with this. From a great quote from one of the best baseball players to ever live, maybe the best, and our dad's favorite player. I like it when the women have small hands. Makes my dick look bigger.